YouTube. Getting ready. Okay, let's see. Oh shoot, I closed my Twitter window. Oh. Okay. Got that out of the way. Hello, Smith. Hello, Nick. Hello, Master Millions. Nick Neal. You know, I went to high school with a kid named Nick Neely, but not Nick Neal. Hello, fake juggernauts. Growing the beard. Well, not like I'm intentionally growing a beard. I'm just choosing not to shave. A little bit of a difference, but not much. Did I see the latest Mandalorian? Yes, I did. We're just waiting for everyone to get in here, and then we'll be officially starting the show. And we will go from there. Oh, so good, so good. Haven't had one of these in a few weeks. Tasty. So, got another 3 minutes and then we'll be getting started here. The DualSense is very impressive. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Got a new job with Amazon. Start tomorrow. Best of luck. I haven't heard the greatest of things in as far as how they treat their employees, but hopefully in the light of COVID, that has changed. I hope things are better for you than they've been for other folks that have worked there in the past. Hi, Shadow Deist. Another 3 minutes and we'll be getting officially started here. Oh yes. Oh yes, we shall. Yes, indeed. Are you getting Cyberpunk? No, I will be waiting for the PS5 upgrade version. I'm not going to buy it on PS4. I will wait. I don't care if I have to wait till next year. 8th is not going to have that issue because 8th is going to be getting some Steam cards for Christmas, and he will be buying it on PC. But I shan't be buying it until I can buy it as a PS5 release. Thoughts on Luna? Don't know what you're talking about. Give it another 2 minutes. Just making sure everything is stable, making sure I got everything I need open. Let's see here. Got my dual monitors going on here. Okay. Okay, I don't need that, so we can exit out of that. Save me a little operating RAM there. What I think of Final Fantasy Remake, personally my game of the year. It's Final Fantasy VII alternate storyline fan fiction with Kingdom Hearts style combat. More or less. Beat Demon Souls. I beat the first boss on Demon Souls PS5, and then 8th took it back to his room. I got to I beat the first boss, the one that's just the big blob with shields and spears. I don't remember its name, but I beat it. Do you like Spider-Man Miles Morales? I have not actually played it yet. 8th already platted it. I haven't played it yet. I've actually still been playing PS4 games. Like this week, I've been playing this El Cheapo Japanese action RPG called Akiba's Beat or Akiba's Beat. I don't know why. It's an extremely dumbed down action RPG. It's practically a visual novel that just has some really, really simple RPG combat tacked onto it. It's not very good. Where do I donate at? You can use the link right up here. See this link right here? That's the best way to donate to me. That goes straight to me instead of having to wait a month and then YouTube stripping 30% of it. Plus, if you donate to me up here, that's considered a gift, so I don't have to claim it on my taxes. Thoughts on Undertaker's retirement? Honestly, it's about time. Probably past due. And anyway, it is Saturday. It is 6 o'clock, December 5th, 2020, and this is the 7thCast. As always, I'm your venerable host, your friendly neighborhood 7th. 8th is off in his room playing Eternals Phoenix Rising or whatever on PS5. And I am sitting in here with you guys. So it is what it is. Put the link in the description. I can put the link in here. How about that? I'm having to type. I usually type over 70 words a minute, but I'm having to type like this because I'm typing around my microphone. There you go. What's your favorite chore to do? My favorite chore? I don't know. Take the garbage out to the garbage cans. That's get like a few seconds of sunlight. I don't. Favorite chore. Did you hear that Xbox Series X plays PS2 games? You have to go into the dev mode of the system, which shouldn't be easily available to the common everyday user, and then install something like RetroStation and a bunch of ROMs on it. If you could get into the PS5's menu easily, the dev menu easily, you could do the same thing on the PS5 because both of the systems have the same core architecture. They're basically PCs. So you could drop RetroStation and a bunch of ROMs in it just like you could setting up a Raspberry Pi. The thing that people are bitching about is that, well, if the hardware can technically run it, then why don't they just make the emulation part of the operating system so you can just put any disk in? Thoughts on the Human Torch? Not my favorite Marvel character. Why no stream last week? Because it was a holiday and I don't stream on the holidays. What up, 7th? How are you? I'm doing all right. Have you ever watched the Hodge twin twins? I have no idea who that is. Thoughts on PSP 5G? It's a bunch of bullshit. I don't think it'll happen. They post a bunch of patents for stuff that never comes out. So, you know, I'm not holding my breath. Why would they bother to do that? If all it's going to be is a 5G streaming device, then why wouldn't you just, you know, have PS Now on your phone or something? It's a stupid idea. Thoughts on Deathstroke? Are you just going to randomly ask me about Marvel and DC characters? I don't care. I have a gut feeling that Sony will have backwards compatibility. They might eventually have it if enough people complain. But then again, if they do that, then they're lowering their reason as to why you would want PS Now. So I don't know if they're going to be willing to do that because of the money. What's up? You come back to YouTube? I never left YouTube. I stopped streaming on YouTube for a while, but I never left YouTube. I've been making videos. Have you ever played any of the Ultimate Alliance games? Yeah, I played 1 and 2. I have 3 on the Switch, but I haven't played it. Anyway, what do you guys think of this announcement Warner Brothers made that all of their movies next year are going to come out on HBO Max the same day as they hit the theater? I kind of told you guys this was going to happen years ago when streaming started getting big. I was like, this is where mainstream cinema ends and cinema becomes like a niche boutique experience where you're not going to have a movie theater on every corner. You're going to have a bunch of boutique theaters like Alamo Drafthouse and crap. Where it's just like instead of you're going to the movies every weekend, you're saving it for that special occasion where the family goes out and has dinner and watches a movie. So, and again, this is a 3-hour podcast, runs from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Time. This can be altered by donation. If we hit $50 tonight, I got to stay till 10. If we hit 75, I got to stay till 11. If we hit anything 100 and up, I got to stay till midnight for a 6-hour stream. That has not happened in a very, very long time. Were you able to secure a PS5? I was able to score 2. One for me, one for 8th. The one for 8th, I had to have a little help. My buddy Brian, who lives here in Texas, was able to score one off of Walmart.com. And I sent him the money for it via PayPal. And he drove down, dropped it on my front porch, and left. Because, didn't want to run the risk of accidentally giving us the coup for vice versa. So, and I hate that because I miss my buddy Brian. I mean, I was only getting to see him twice a year before. Now I'm seeing him even less. So, kind of sucks. You're going to be 24 on the 14th. My birthday is this month as well. But mine's not going to be 24. Mine's going to be 46. I am an old POS, my friends. I am now, when I have my birthday, I will officially be closer to 50 than 40. Yep. Did you see the leaked Ps5 Pro patent? Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Why are there so many complaints about the PS5 but not the Xbox Series X? Because people aren't reporting it on the Series X as much because not as many people bought one. But trust me, they're there. I found on YouTube like in excess of like 40 or 50 videos of Xbox Series X's having the exact same problems that people are reporting on the PS5. Discs not wanting to go in, making weird noises, system crashes, system lockup, graphical artifacting, all the same things. There's videos of Series X's doing it too. I didn't look for Series S, but I would assume that if the Series X is doing it, the Series S is doing it as well. We shall see. 7th, have you heard the infamous SJW guy who can't handle the criticism of that is movie? I've heard of Movie Bob, yes. Happy birthday, dog. Thank you, Nick. You played Demon Souls yet? Yes, I just mentioned earlier I beat the first boss and then 8th took it into his room and I haven't played it since. You're not that old, man. My pops is older than you. Yeah, but at the same time, I'm old enough to be your pops, Nick. Hi, 7th. What's good? What were you guys talking about for the last 12 minutes? I'll just catching up. 7th, did you play GoldenEye 64? I did back in the day, but I was not a big fan like everyone else because I couldn't stand the one analog stick. That's why I didn't like first-person shooters on Dreamcast either. I didn't start playing first-person shooters on console until the DualShock came out. The PS5 outsold the Xbox by 2-1. If there were more PS5s, the gap would be much bigger. like I said, the PS5 outsold the Series X, so there's more PS5s out there, hence more errors are being reported on PS5 than on Xbox Series X because there's more people that own one. But if you go look at YouTube, for every video that you find of someone saying, my PS5 is broken, you will find a matching video, my Xbox Series X is broken. It's just people aren't talking about it as much. Do you think Palpatine is the reason why Rise of Skywalker hit 1 billion? No, I think it's because people will put up. There are some diehard Star Wars fans out there who will put up with a crappy Star Wars movie just to be able to hear the Star Wars soundtrack in a big theater and hear the lightsaber sound effect zipping around in the room. It's a nostalgia thing. 7th, did you see the rumors that Sony bought Bluepoint and they're working? Yeah, I've seen it. Hey, Alex. Thoughts on a scalper group having over 3,500 PS5s? I hope they don't sell a single one of them. I think another YouTuber I like banned me from his chat. I type my message, but he reads the message after me, and when I leave and come back, my comment is gone. Well, maybe he just didn't like what you had to say, and he removed it. Maybe he has a mod that removes comments. If you're still able to post, then you're not blocked. Rise of Skywalker was trash. I was not a fan of it either. You're not that old. You're not even a middle-aged man. Do you consider yourself old because of your health and afraid of... I'm considering myself old because I'm only 15 years younger than my dad was when he died. I didn't like Last Jedi either. I only liked the first one, The Force Awakens. It was okay. I didn't like the other two. Solo, the main reason that it bombed was because, one, the media in advance were telling everybody that it was going to bomb, that it wasn't going to be good because they had to switch directors and refilm a bunch of stuff, so people just assumed that it would be crap. And two, a lot of its soundtrack was not Star Wars soundtrack, but original soundtrack made for that movie. It had bits and pieces of the Star Wars soundtrack in it, but not on the level of an actual Star Wars release. Me, myself, I quite enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Once you get over the fact that that actor doesn't look anything like Harrison Ford and just accept him in the role, it's a fun movie. Yeah, I heard about a reseller pretending to be 8-Bit Eric. I saw that. Is The Mandalorian the best Star Wars thing Disney has produced? So far. Yeah, I heard about Pat Patterson. I've had no issues with the PS5, mainly because I've avoided Call of Duty like the plague. I haven't had any issues with the PlayStation 5 because all I've played is Demon's Souls, and all that's been played on mine is Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, Astro Bot, and a bunch of PS4 games. I have not had an external drive hooked up to it, and I have rest mode disabled on it. Did you like Rogue One? I thought Rogue One was kind of boring. It's like only the last 15 minutes of it are any good. The rest of it is mostly just dull and slow. 7th, did you see the Console War documentary? I've seen several Console War documentaries, so you'd have to be more specific. Did you think Bayonetta 3 is going to be announced next year? Well, you never know. I mean, what else have they been working on? Why was Anita Sarkeesian complaining about the Mandalorian boob armor? Because that's what she does. She goes looking for anything that she can deem as sexist and complain about it because that makes her views go up and she makes more money. When will you play Jedi Fallen Order? I have no idea. I have it, and I have yet to play a single minute of it. It's just another game in my backlog. You don't want to know how big my backlog is. My backlog is staggering. He said you really liked Tron Legacy, but what are your thoughts on the CGI Jeff Bridges? It could have been done better. I saw a video on YouTube the other day where someone had redone the scenes of his CG face with a deep fake, and it still wasn't to the quality of the de-aging they use in the Marvel movies, but it was better than than in, Tron Legacy's original effects. But again, Tron Legacy came out in 2010, so it's 10 years old. There's a lot of rumors that, well, of course Solo wasn't needed. Solo didn't need an origin story. But if you're going to have one, it wasn't bad. I liked it, and I had fun with it. There's a lot of rumors Silent Hill will be announced at the Game Awards. Okay. Hey, 7th, Metalhead Nate here. How's it going? It's going all right. Don't expect me to remember that Nihon Sama is Metalhead Nate, though. Probably bigger than my backlog. Probably. If you had to pick one movie by Ridley Scott to be erased from history, which one would you choose between Alien or Blade Runner? Neither. I'd get rid of Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Seventh, did you see the console war? I've seen several console war documentaries, so I don't know if I've seen the one you're talking about. If you're talking about the one that was on Netflix or whatever a few weeks ago, I watched it, but there wasn't really anything new in it that hadn't been covered in previous documentaries on the same subject. Do you like the Resident Evil films? No, I do not. I noticed that General MLD is back on Twitter. I think he'll actually start doing... Do you think he'll start doing YouTube videos again? I haven't seen him on Twitter, so I wouldn't know. Have you seen the movie Stay Alive? Yes, that's the one that's basically The Ring, only it's a video game that kills you instead of a VHS tape. Do you like Death Note? I liked the original anime series and the made-for-TV live-action Japanese movies. The Netflix movie was trash. There's a rumor that Alfred Molina will return to Spider-Man 3. Well, it's not just a rumor. He was actually seen on set filming scenes. So, as far as I know, it's been confirmed. What's your favorite Solid Rev video? The one where he was making fun of Halo, running around in his house shooting at teddy bears with a handful of grapes. Because he said he made this infamous statement that the guns in Halo 3 looked like fruit. And so he was running around in his living room shooting at teddy bears with a handful of grapes. A lot of people don't remember that video, but I thought it was hilarious. I'm waiting on Cyberpunk until the PS5 version comes out. I'm not going to buy it on PS4 and then wait for a patch. I will wait until the official PS5 version hits. General MLD's hashtag is MLD Ghost. All right, let me go find him real quick. MLD Ghost. Let's go see. Twitter. Search Twitter at MLD Ghost. Ghost MLD. Xbox fan. Favorite genres are first-person shooter, turn-based strategy, Western RPG. All things Xbox excels at. Here for the console wars. Bring on the fanboys. Oh, really? Okay. I'm going to tweet at him. Boo. There we go. All right, I tweeted at him. Okay. Do you think Civil War II will ever happen? Oh, well, why would they? They already made Infinity War. I'm kidding. I kind of doubt it. 7th, you missed the last 2 weekends. Well, one was a holiday and one things came up. What do you want me to do? I'm not doing the 7thCast on holiday weekends. I never have. I never will. Do you think Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie to date? It's my personal favorite. Are you planning to eventually play every game that's in your backlog? Sooner or later. It's good to be back on the YouTubes. You're actually going to play Cyberpunk 2077. If the reviews are okay and other people that I trust say it's okay and the PS5 version comes out, then yes, I will play it. I doubt it's the real MLD. There's no Microsoft stockholder. You never know. I'm finding out. There's a problem with controversial Netflix cuties. What are your thoughts on? Well, that's a very old topic, Master Chief. I've already spoken about that. I've never watched it, and I have no intention of watching it. Thoughts on Hyrule Warriors? I know Eighth really likes them. I haven't played any of them. We have the original on both Switch and Wii U, and we have the sequel on Switch. Your Black Ops 3 video is one of my favorites. Yeah, I probably put more thought into that one than any video I've ever made. We had fun making that one. When you use Twitter, do you use your phone or PC? Mostly my phone. 7th, do you think the Series X will be a must-own console? That depends on the games that come out for it. What are your thoughts on Joe Biden breaking his foot? Well, when you get to be ancient age, your bones get brittle. What can I tell you? Have you ever tried Game Pass? I have Game Pass. I have Xbox Ultimate that includes Xbox Live and Game Pass in it. So, I've experienced it. I'm experiencing it on Xbox One X instead of Series X. Because right now, every single game that's available for the Series X is available on my One X. So there's literally no reason for me to upgrade to it. I found your skits funny. Yeah, but skits take a lot of work. Have you ever broken anything? Just my nose. I broke my nose when I was 10 years old. Otherwise, I've never had a broken bone. How much for your PS5? Yeah, no. How's the music making? I'm working on something, but it's a cover, so I'm having to figure out and transpose to guitar because the song that I'm covering was not done with any guitar in it. So I'm having to try to figure out how do I take this song that sounds kind of like drunken Euro trash and convert it over to guitar, and more specifically punk guitar. So I'm sitting fiddling around with it. I'm hoping to get it done this month, but no guarantees because it's not an easy one to do, and I basically did it on a dare. I agreed to do it on a dare. It's not like I have some deep passion to cover this song. So my favorite PS1 game. I really like Final Fantasy VII, but I also really like Alundra and a couple of others. Does 8th want to go to Japan? 8th would love to go to Japan, but it's not safe to go to Japan right now, and it's expensive. Maybe if old Biden follows through on his word and forgives all my student loans, and maybe I can afford to go to Japan. Do you like Legend of Dragoon? Legend of Dragoon is great. I wish that's one that I wish Blue Point would remake. Remake Legend of Dragoon. Thoughts on Super Nintendo World in Japan? Well, I can't really speak about where I haven't been. I mean, they're building it in Orlando too, but that one got delayed because of the coof. Did you like the film E.T.? Yeah, I like the film E.T. Saw it twice in the theater when I was a kid, and saw it again in the theater when they re-released it back in the early 2000s or whenever it was. And I know you asked about the Streamlabs link, and I posted it here in the chat. But if you can't use Streamlabs for whatever reason, you can use the gray super chat button. It's just, I don't get that money for a month, and YouTube keeps 30% of it. But I don't count it as 30% when I count it towards the total for the goals. So, yeah. Did you hear about the Mass Effect series making a comeback with a Legendary Edition? Yeah, I heard about that. I will definitely be buying that and replaying those games. What's your favorite? I have the trilogy on PS3. I have the trilogy set, but I would rebuy it to play it on PS5 with better graphics. What's your favorite Christmas movie? Are in the mood for Christmas? My favorite Christmas movie is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I watch it every year. I even have a poster of that movie up in the game room. Why does YouTube keep so much? Why do we have income taxes? I don't know. Why ask me? Will you upload the replay on your channel? The replay of what? This? Yeah, I'm still doing that. All of the ones that I've done recently since I came back to YouTube are on there. I haven't hidden them. They're still there. Does your character in Mass Effect look like you? Yeah, anytime I have an RPG where I can change the look of the character, I cut all of his hair off and I give him a goatee and blue eyes. And if it gives you the option to put shades on, I put shades on him. Do you like Year Without a Santa Claus? I remember watching it when I was a kid. Wasn't one of my favorite Rankin Basses, but it was pretty good. What's your favorite GTA? Probably San Andreas, but I've never been a huge fan of the series to begin with. Have you ever watched a movie from the 20s and 30s eras? Well, yeah, I watched the original King Kong and several of the other monster movies from that era. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs came out in the 30s. I've seen the original Wizard of Oz. I've even seen the silent movie Wizard of Oz. I think Sly Cooper will have a remake. You never know. Will you replay Mass Effect on your channel? If you guys want me to stream it, I guess I could. Did you like either of the modern Godzilla movies? Yeah. I actually liked the second one a little bit more than the first one because it actually had more Godzilla in it. In the first Godzilla, he was only in it for like 10 minutes. Maybe not even that much. The problem I did have with the second one was too much of it took place at nighttime, presumably to lower the cost of all the CG being rendered. Because, they don't have to do as much detail if they put the fights at night or in the dark. I hope that's something they fix with Kong vs. Godzilla, which, by the way, is a Warner Brothers film, so that means next year it'll be available on HBO Max, so I won't have to go to the theater to see it. Do you think Three Stooges still hold up? I like the old ones, but it's a different kind of comedy that most people don't appreciate anymore. If you want any proof of that, all you have to do is look at the remake that was done by the Farrelly brothers several years ago. Is Bowser based on Godzilla? I have no idea. Do you think Kojima is overrated as a game designer? No, he's just quirky. Japan. Both of these movies were too dark. Yes, they were. 7th, will PlayStation ever have competition? They do. Microsoft and Nintendo. That's competition, whether or not they're beating their competition or not. It's still competition. This is a stupid question, but what age did you give 8th the talk? 12, I think. Mr. Bean holds up better than Three Stooges. I like Mr. Bean. I even liked both of his movies. Why is Kratos in Fortnite? I don't know. It's stupid. Fat gamer like Godzilla. Okay. So, by the way, all the birds and the bees talk, Shadow DS, telling him where babies come from. Speaking of Fat Gamer and Godzilla, y'all mocked me when I actually went out and bought a physical copy of Godzilla on PS4. Now it's worth $158. So you just, because they only did a 10,000 print run. So you just keep on mocking. $158. Do you plan on doing a review of the Xbox Series X? I would review it if I had one, but I don't have one. And I don't have $500 to spend on one if they were in stock anywhere. Any of you want to buy me one, I'll be happy to review it. When do you think the PS5 stock will be available so it'll finally satisfy the demand? I have no idea. It could be another 6 months. AVGN should revisit the new Godzilla episode about Godzilla on PS4. Maybe he should. Thoughts on the Tom and Jerry movie? It is what it is. It'll either be good like Sonic the Hedgehog or it'll be horrible like the Smurfs and the Garfield movie. There is no middle ground. It's either going to be horrendous or it's going to be good. Remember when Thanos was in Fortnite? Thank you for helping me with my story. No problem, man. I know I haven't answered the last couple, but that's simply because, no offense to you, but I'm kind of a busy guy. I put in a lot of hours at work, and I'm not always free to do that kind of shit. I will again reiterate that most of the stuff that I'm telling you is stuff that you could learn on your own if you just went out and bought a few books, like The Art of Writing, Stephen King's On Writing. There's several books that you can buy. The Art of Fiction. There's several books that you can buy that would help you as far as, how to craft a narrative, how to build characters, the difference in writing from third-person omniscient to third-person singular to first-person, and how that narrative structure works. All the different things that I've been talking to you about, you can find them in books, and these books are only like, $10 a piece. It would do you some good to pick some of those up and read through them. Maybe put your story on hold and read up on picking up some writing tools through reading books like that, and then pick the story back up from there. Sony reports that most gamers on PlayStation play single player than multiplayer. Good. Do you remember Angry Grandpa? Never watched him. It's a great time to make extra money reselling. Yeah, but I'm not in the habit of selling stuff. 2 Marvel and Star Wars and Fortnite. Have you ever heard of Fringy? No. Never heard of Fringy. What would you do if Drama Alert reached out to you? Oh, you Keemstar? Nothing. I'd be like, thanks for your interest, but no thanks. Hi, Ultra Steel. We already have our Christmas tree up. 2-man operation. And by that I mean what I mean by that is that intrinsically speaking, 8th puts it up and I supervise. 8th puts it up and I supervise. I've been all right. I've been doing okay. No, I don't play the lottery. Personally, I've just been hoping that a relative that I don't know exists dies and leaves me all their money. That's my version of the lottery. And that one don't cost me anything. Immortals Phoenix Rising is very good. Breath of the Wild clone you should play. I own it, but 8th is playing it. Like I told you, in most things, 8th gets first dibs. I got a real Christmas tree. I can't handle real Christmas trees because I have allergies, and the smell of the sap and everything starts to mess with me. So it's like having hay fever. So, we just have this $200 fake tree that I bought about 5 years ago, and once a year we get it out of the garage, plug it into the wall, and then throw a bunch of ornaments on it and call it a day. Are you going to watch the Game Awards? Maybe. 7th, I haven't seen the second Christmas Chronicles movie with Kurt Russell. Have you seen it? Yeah, I've seen it. I actually didn't like it as well as the first one. The second one feels a lot more kiddie than the first one did. My family is still using the fake tree my parents bought in the early 90s. I used to use a fake white tree. I had an aunt that when I was a kid had a white Christmas tree, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so I always told myself that when I became an adult and I bought my own Christmas tree, that I'd get a white one. And so when I got married, the first thing that I did was when it came December is I went and bought a white Christmas tree. And we did a white Christmas tree for years and years. And then me and the wife split up, and I'm like, screw it, I ain't doing the white tree anymore. And I just went and bought a really, really nice $200 and some odd green tree. But my ex still uses a white one. So I kind of passed that on to her. What Bruce Lee movies do you recommend? All of them except for Game of Death, because most of that movie is not him. He's only really in the last 15 minutes of it or so. So if you watch Game of Death, just fast forward to where he gets to the tower and start watching there, because that's the only part that's really him. Don't worry about it, Otaku. Why does Fox News own IGN if they hate video game? I didn't know they owned IGN. Are you going to be a part of the Corporate Slave Awards this year? Black Bond asked me to do it, but whether it actually happens or not, I don't know. But he asked me. He asked if I'd be willing to do it again. He said that because of the format that they were using, that it was a requirement for me to do it this year. He was like, you have to be a part of it this year. It wouldn't make sense for you to not be here. And I was like, well, I mean, if you want me in there that bad, okay. But I don't know when it's going to start or anything like that. Yeah, I know there's a guy that like cosplays as Bruce Lee over in the Middle East somewhere. JTech TV is going to win. Well, you never know. Which martial art actor do you like the most after Bruce Lee? What, like Asian martial arts actor? Probably either Donnie Yen or Tony Jaa. Hi, Jacoby Mans. Journalists are voting for Game of the Year, so I suspect Last of Us 2 will win. Probably. Oh well. Seventh is the lack of competition. Why WWE sucks? No, because WWE has competition. AEW. And for those of you who haven't been watching AEW, if you watch their kind of B show, AEW Dark, Black Baron is on there. He wrestles for AEW now. It's just he's only been on the main show maybe once, and I think he was there just to do the job or something. I don't think he had a major storyline. I don't know. I didn't watch it. But seventh, did you like the cameo, the Bruce Lee cameo in Ip Man 4? Yeah, it was cool. They got a good guy to play him. It was good. Did you know NXT is live now? I don't care. Like I've said before, I haven't watched wrestling in years. I think the last time I watched wrestling was 2 or 3 WrestleManias ago. Apparently, the Great Exposer and Jack Move Johnny are going to be a part of the CSAs this year. I haven't heard anything about Jack Move Johnny being in it. The Great Exposer is part of it every year. Naughty Dog is doomed. Neil Druckmann got promoted. Yeah, he's co-president now. So much for that company being saved. Unless whoever the other co-president is really reins him in. Is what it is. The Great Exposer's channel has been gone for a while. He gets flagged down like that. I liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy their representation of Bruce Lee at all. But aside from the way they handled Bruce Lee, I really enjoyed that movie. I don't know who flagged Great Exposer down. I don't know. I just know that any new channel he opens up doesn't tend to last long. Do you like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas and Casino? Yeah. I like Joe Pesci in a lot of things. I mean, some movies he made weren't that good, like Gone Fishing, but, I liked him in Goodfellas, and I liked him in Casino, and I liked him in The Irishman, and I liked him in My Cousin Vinny, and I liked him in Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag, and a few other ones. Do you think the gaming community is predominated by outrage and entitlement? Depends on the part of the community you're talking about. You got to remember, the gaming community isn't the gaming community. The gaming community is the retro community and the crumb side community and the fighting game community, and there's a whole bunch of different little subsets. I don't get into arguments and debates near as much as I used to because I just started hanging out in the retro community all the time. Seventh, do you like the first two Home Alone movies? Yes. I heard people hate the second one because it repeats a lot of the gags. Well, it doesn't repeat the gags. It just kind of does them in different ways. It's the same type of gags, like setting a guy on fire, knocking him out with something thrown at his face and stuff like that, but they do it in different ways. It definitely follows the overall structure because, for example, they replace the old man with a snow shovel with an old woman who's a bird lady. But she fills the same role in the film as the guy with the snow shovel filled in the first film. She becomes his awkward friend thing, and then at one point she saves him from the wet bandits. So she's basically the same character as the snow shovel guy. She's just a homeless bird lady instead. So yeah, it's basically a clone of the first film, but I still like it. I watch them both every year. How do you drink that shit? Because I like it. It's basically alcoholic cherry cola. What's not to like? Almighty Gamer, how would I know? I'm not that old. Would you recommend The Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah, I liked it. What are some negative stereotypes that make the U.S. look bad to the rest of the world? Why would I care? This is a gaming chat, Dr. Cringe. Why would I care? The Sticky Bandits. Yeah. Marv Scream in the second movie is better than the first. You're not wrong. How did AVGN get Macaulay Culkin to be in a video with him? Because Macaulay Culkin doesn't really do movies anymore. And since Macaulay Culkin doesn't really have to work because of all the millions that he's made, he spends a lot of time watching YouTube and doing his own YouTube channel. And so he has, reached out to channels that he likes to do something with them. AVGN got him because Macaulay Culkin likes AVGN. It's that simple. Why no URP on the stream? URP? I thought it was whiskey. Oh, my bad. No, it's not whiskey. It's Jack Daniel's Blackjack Cola. It's basically black cherry Coke. Why no burp from that drink? Because I haven't built one up yet. Hi, Joseph Italiano. How's it going? How's it going? And just so y'all know, because this is my birthday month, anything that gets donated on the 7thCast for the next, for every week in December, that's going towards buying me something that I want for my birthday. I'm just telling you. It'll still end up helping the channel because I know exactly what I'm going to be putting it towards. I'm either going to be putting it towards an Xbox Series X fund, or I'm going to be putting it towards getting the new guitar foot pedal that I want for doing better quality guitar on my music tracks. 7th, do you think Roger Ebert and Siskel were a little harsh? No, they usually were pretty spot on with their level of criticism. There, you happy? Oh, I think I got another one for you. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yum. A doobie doo doo. Yeah. How did Game Theory get Dan Harmon? I don't even watch Game Theory. Don't watch them. It's not a channel that I frequent, yo. Do-do-do-do. Roger Ebert thought Blue Streak was as good as Lethal Weapon. Okay. I didn't say I agreed with him every time. Hey, 7th, what's up, bro? Thanks again for the Legends Ultimate Arcade suggestion. That thing's pretty... I've seen people connecting Xbox Series S consoles to and dev mode to it and using RetroArch. Cool. What content do you watch on YouTube outside of gaming-related stuff? I watch a lot of the dark horror/mystery channels like Scare Theater and especially Nexpo. Nexpo is probably my favorite one. I really like his content. So, you know, that kind of stuff. You sound like an opinionated guy. I was just curious. I ain't banning you. I've just made it a common thing on my stream that I don't really talk politics or religion. Every now and again, I'll touch on religion a little bit, but I try to avoid politics. It's just not a subject that interests me, and no matter what I say, I'm going to piss off somebody, so I just avoid it. Are you into creepypasta? Not really. Not really. I don't know why I'm sleepy today. Oh, y'all getting all quiet all of a sudden. Y'all were like just question, and now you're just kind of dead. Could be the alcohol. I doubt it. Alcohol doesn't really affect me that way. Plus, I have an extremely high tolerance. It would certainly take more than the 5.5 that's in this or whatever. What do you think of Doom Eternal? Doom Eternal's okay. It's Doom. 7th, do you ever play Zelda A Link Between Worlds? It's basically a Link to the Past Remaster. Yeah, well, I have it, but I haven't played it. I have it, but I haven't played it. My favorite religion is when will Jesus bring the pork chops? Oh, isn't that a George Carlin book? Didn't he write a book by that title? I want to say he did. Either a book or an album. I recommend playing it. It's a good game. Recommend playing what? Oh, Link Between Worlds. Well, like I said, I have it. I just haven't played it. Yo, 7th, long time no see. Did you see that Hellhound 30X posted a video? It felt like the old days of the Trey Brotherhood. Well, I'm subscribed to him, but it didn't show up on my feed. I'll have to go check it out. What's your thoughts on creepypasta? Never really got into it that much, so I don't, I only know like the ultra popular ones like Slender Man and Jeff the Killer and stuff like that. Do you think movie theaters could survive after the vaccine? To a certain extent, but it's not going to be like it was. Did you watch Hey Arnold? No, that was after my time. Do you drink Captain Morgan? Sort of. I drink Captain Morgan's Pelican Bay coconut rum. What YouTubers would you like to see come back to YouTube? I don't know. I haven't really had that many that I watched that have disappeared. There were, sure, the entirety of the Xbox Republic disappeared, but, is what it is. They lost. What are you going to do? 7th, I honestly don't believe movie theaters will ever go away. There's a place for lovers to go on dates. Sure. I just don't think it's going to be as financially viable of a market as it used to be. I don't watch The Weakest Link. I'm 21. What whiskey do you recommend for first time? I'd go with Jack Daniels. What do you think of Among Us, and how come a game that came out in 2018 is blowing up now in 2020? Because that's the way streaming influences people. Streamers discovered this thing, And so now it's become a popular thing to watch streams for. And that's why a game that was more or less in obscurity for forever suddenly took off. General MLD is entirely unknown to modern Xbots. This is very true. Movie theaters are doomed. Well, it was going to happen eventually, but like I said, I think they'll stay around as a kind of a boutique experience. But you'll be paying a premium to go to them because they won't be getting as much money from the movie studios. General MLD. Do you think Broken Games HD is reliable? Reliable in what way? I mean, he's reliable in that he puts out regular content. Do you think if Spider-Man 3 is in theaters, it will help? No one movie is going to save the theater industry. General MLD was a better troll than the new Xbox. I agree. I'm watching you and Melody at the same time because reason. I don't know who Melody is. Do you think the HBO Max solution is the way to go for movies moving forwards? I think it's a smart move. I think Disney should embrace it instead of trying to charge $30 to watch a movie like they did with Mulan. And, you know, I watched Mulan for free yesterday because it went free on Disney Plus yesterday. And trust me, that was not worth $30. Project Melody. I'm not familiar with it. Did you already talk about the flood of... Yeah, I already talked about that. Hi, Rome Rush. How's it going? How goes it, sir? Had to pop my neck. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Did you like the Belko experiment? I can't remember. I can't remember if I liked it or not. 7th, which Disney character did you always want to meet when you were a kid? My memory is that the one I don't know why, but the one I always got excited for when I was real little was Tigger. Anytime I saw Tigger in the parks, I'd run towards him. Almost got ran over by a horse, too, doing that. But I ran out in the middle of the main street trying to get to Tigger and almost got ran over by a Clydesdale or whatever kind of horse they pull those horse-drawn carriages with. Those horse-drawn trolleys they have. I'll miss the movie theater popcorn. Just buy some microwave popcorn and then buy you a bottle of Orville Redenbacher's movie butter. It costs about $4. Heat it up in the microwave, pour some of that on it, and then shake some salt on it. You're welcome. Do you like eating grits? No, I never was a grits person. Why do animated films do better in live action? Depends on the film. I'm glad you ended up being okay from those horses, 7. Well, you know, it was the 80s. Parents were less paranoid about something happening to their kid back then. You know, it was a regular thing for me to get on my BMX with no helmet, no pads, no nothing, and hook up with my friends Saturday morning and go riding down through the woods. This was in Tennessee, riding our BMXs through the woods with copperheads and all sorts of other nasties that could have hurt us, and be gone all day. No cell phones, no way for parents to contact us. Parents have no idea where we were. We would come back at dusk just as the sun was setting, and we would have been gone all day, and our parents have absolutely no idea where we were or what we've been doing. That was the 80s. And so I can't, you know, yeah, kids are mostly safer now, but I also kind of feel bad for modern kids because they don't have the sense of adventure that we had when we were kids. You know, short of like mutants and gangsters and pirate ships, it's like every weekend for us was like the Goonies. We would hop on our bikes and go look for something to get into. would you be sad if civilization was to get wiped out by aliens in the future? No, I wouldn't be sad because I'd likely be dead. Seventh, what are your current thoughts on the new Animaniacs? The thing is, Animaniacs did some political humor back in the day, but most of their satire was aimed at celebrities. And now most of their satire is aimed strictly at politics. So they've shifted it. Not going. I mean, where are all the fingerprints jokes? Not going to lie, I really do miss the debates that went on in the White Room video chats on PS3. Yeah, bye, Master Chief. Do you like eating pig intestines? No. By the way, I screenshot our conversations about writing for study. Cool. Do you think The Goonies should have gotten a sequel? Yeah, but it should have happened a couple years after the first one. At this point, there's no point. Do you have an opinion of Blink-182? They're not bad. They're okay for pop punk. They're okay. Plus, the drummer was heavily influenced by the Descendants, and so that makes them cool in my book right from the start. Any band that names the Descendants as a major influence, it makes my ears peak up. I take interest when they start quoting the Descendants, because that shows that they have good taste. Do you watch any late night talk shows? Nope. Do you like astronomy? Yep. Did you hear about those monoliths? Yeah, it's just an art project. Do you like Elvis music? Yep. One of my favorite albums of all time was his Moody Blue album, which was a combination of studio stuff he recorded at Graceland and live concert stuff. And yeah, this was older Elvis. This wasn't like Hound Dog era Elvis. This was like, Captain Marvel Jr. jumpsuit era Elvis. But for some reason, I just really like that album, the Moody Blue album. Which do you like better, Sackboy or Super Mario 3D World? They're kind of the same game, really. I have I have Star Trek Bridge Crew on PSVR. I have not played it. Eighth has played it, and he didn't like it because he didn't like the control scheme. He said it was too complicated, and you had to get a bunch of people in there that knew what they were doing. Otherwise, the experience was terrible. And most of the time, he said he couldn't get anybody in there that knew what they were doing, so it always sucked. Why did Orpha throw Michael under the bus but not Harvey? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you want to see humans go to Mars in your lifetime? Yes. Seventh, do you think glitches in video games that cause NPCs to spaz out, distort, is funny? Yeah, I crack up every time I see one. I crack up every time I see one. Oh, yes. Thoughts on John MacArthur? Who? I know Douglas MacArthur. I don't know that I know John MacArthur. Do you want to quit vaping still? Eventually. I mean, I've been vaping for years. It's never caused me a single health problem. But I'm still thinking about it. Think we will see Sonic Mania sequel. Maybe. Does 8th find those glitches to be amusing as well? It depends on the glitch. Like the really common one in Ghost of Tsushima, where you kill that guy up against a rock and his body just keeps bouncing in and out of the ground. He thought that one was pretty funny. Choose wisely. Wait a minute. Are you going to play Watch Dogs Legion? I haven't even played Watch Dogs 1 or 2 yet. They're just not really my thing. Choose wisely. Running with the Devil by Van Halen or The Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden. Running with the Devil. I like Iron Maiden, but I'm less a Number of the Beast guy than I am a Run for the Hills guy. Let's see here. What game have you been playing as of late, or you've been working too much? Only game I've been playing lately, and it was strictly just to get it off my backlog, was I've been playing Akiba's Beat on PS5. You know, PS4 game, but I'm playing it on PS5. It's not very good. I'm debating with myself if I even want to finish it or if I want to go back to Persona 5 at this point. Todd Howard should be the new spokesperson for Xbox. Sure. What's your game of the year? Ghost of Tsushima. They want to have an in-person Oscar show next year. Do you think that's a bad idea? Yes. Favorite Hurt cover, 9 Inch Nails or Johnny Cash? Well, Johnny Cash. I don't think... Johnny Cash was covering it. You know. 7th, do you like broccoli? I love eating it. I'm not a broccoli person. Do you think Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie to date? It's my personal favorite. Somebody already asked me that earlier. 7th, will we ever see music games again? Oh, well, you know, they kind of fell out of favor and have been replaced by more... a different kind of experience. Like, for example, we don't have Guitar Hero anymore. It's become more stripped down and mainly just about rhythm. And that's why, you know, Rock Band is dead, Guitar Hero is dead, but Beat Saber is still alive and well. Because it's not tied to particular instruments, it's just about keeping with the beat. Phoenix Rising also borrows some stuff from God of War. And it borrows some things from the Souls likes. Particularly from Sekiro, where you have when the enemy glows red, an unblockable attack is coming. You know, stuff like, which I know they've done it before, but Sekiro is the game that kind of brought that back in as a popular mechanic. Have you run into any quirks while trying out backwards compatibility? No. Mainly, I've just been testing various games to see which ones up the frame rate to 60 frames and which ones don't. Hi, Sebastian. How's it going? Oh, by the way. Cover your ears. 2 hours remaining. We've had 0 donations, even from people that asked where to go donate. Did you know the MGM iconic trademark, the Roaring Lion, killed its tamers? I think that's a urban legend. Do you think Sony pushing Venom and Spider-Man 3 is what ruined it? What ruined it was that was just part of it. Sony was also messing with Raimi left and right, and so Raimi basically sabotaged the film because they kept messing with him. That's why Venom sucked so bad. Do you think Epic did fans dirty by putting Kratos into Fortnite? Well, I mean, you know, if you don't have a problem with it, then don't play as him. Or don't play Fortnite. There'd be a good idea. Favorite Zelda portable game? Probably Link's Awakening. Do you think there's too many Souls clones in the market right now? No, because Souls clones make 8th happy, except for crappy ones. This is why I never buy a new console day one. I haven't had any issues with my PS5, and neither has 8th. 8th had one issue with his, where his fan was slightly louder than mine, and he got to thinking that maybe he had that dangling sticker problem that other people have had. So he opened it up and unscrewed the fan and took it out, and one of the screws holding the fan encasing the fan case onto the chassis was loose, and so he just tightened all the screws down. No more fan noise. If I were to say, show me your red, what video of yours would you link as a response? I don't even know. I don't think I'd necessarily have to show my red because I've been showing my red for 11 years. Any ideas why Solid Rev's consoles keep breaking? Because he buys them all at Best Buy? Still love the transition, though. Yeah. That was an exquisite toot. Was 8th able to unlock the God mode glitch in Bloodborne? I don't think he's tried. He doesn't need it. 8th can speedrun Bloodborne at this point. I didn't mind New Goblin all that much, really. It was just the depiction of Venom. I didn't really have a problem with New Goblin. Is the Xbox Series X a POS? I have no idea. I don't have one. Has Bloodborne been upgraded from 30 to 60 on PS5? No. The frame rate is hard locked. It's not an unlocked frame rate. So the only way they could make it 60 on the PS5 is with a patch. Have you ever taken a look at the manual of the PS5? No. There are two different PS5 fans. One's a little louder than the other. That wasn't the issue here. He just had a loose screw. He tightened it up. Problem solved. And here's the thing. I'm not entirely sure that there are two fan types out in the market. The article that came from was talking about PS5 that was given to them for review by Sony versus PS5 that they went out in a store and bought. So it's possible that the review consoles that they sent out to everyone to review them in videos had a different fan than what was in the final manufactured product. I can't say. I mean, it's not really as big a deal as everyone's trying to make it out to be. Companies have been doing this for years. It's a supply and demand issue. Anything that's an off-the-shelf part, they will contract with multiple suppliers so that when they go to do another production run, if supplier A doesn't have enough to fill that production run, they buy them instead from supplier B. And this version of it might not be 100% exactly the same, but it fits in with the same performance specs and size ratio and everything. And so that's why, you can go out and buy an Xbox 360 and you could go out and buy an Xbox 360 at the same time, and one of them has a Toshiba hard drive in it and the other one has a Samsung. Have you gained any weight? No, I'm about the same weight as I was when this year started. 7th, when David Prowse passed away, I got really scared that it was James Earl Jones. Well, honestly, James Earl Jones probably isn't that far away from it because he's on up in his 80s. Maybe even his 90s by now, I'm not sure. What do you think of the Lego Batman movie? I watched about 5 minutes of it and turned it off. The Soul series is a 3D Castlevania. I wouldn't really agree with Dark Souls or Demon Souls, but definitely with Bloodborne. Bloodborne, in my mind, is a 3D Symphony of the Night. Hey, 7th needs some advice. They always do. Everyone talking about how bad Doctor Who is, but Dr. Stone anime is the stuff. I like Dr. Stone. I thought it was a good anime. It was interesting to me. I like science stuff. I made more money than I ever have, but I'm not happier. I thought I would be. Thoughts? Happiness is rarely about how much money you make as opposed to how well you manage the money you do have. Buying things is just a temporary dopamine release in your brain. Lasting happiness comes from the people you surround yourself with in your life. And the experiences that you have. Remember, your memories are the only thing that you take with you. What was it like to live through the 80s as far as music goes? Oh, it was amazing. So many different genres. So many different performers. So many things that were completely new. Music now is trash. I watched Taxi Driver a few days ago. Joker took a lot from it. Yes, it did. Now go watch The King of Comedy and you'll see where it took the rest from. Do you think Digital Foundry is doing a good job? I don't pay too much attention to Digital Foundry because, they claim to be they claim not to be interested in the whole console war thing, but their videos are specifically made to fan those flames. So they're kind of hypocritical there. Hi, Stranded J. Do you think people will scalp the vaccine? That depends on how it's distributed. It's not like they're just going to be able to walk into the Walgreens and buy up all the bottles, I have an Xbox Series X and a 4K 60. I love Game Pass. Okay. Do you like the Rocky movies? Yes, I do. 7th, don't you drink Wilkins coffee? No, I do not. I'm blown. This is not really that kind of podcast, but okay. James Earl Jones is 89. Yeah, it won't be long for him. Hate to say it, but, prepare yourselves. Do you know what TV 8 has? Currently, he's rocking he's currently rocking a 1080p 50-inch with a 240 hertz refresh rate. Don't ask me where I got that. He used to have a 50-inch 4K, but he ended up giving that away to a friend who needed it. 8's that kind of kid. 7th, I've been watching Death Note on HBO Max. Is that the same one you were talking about earlier that you do like? I haven't watched Death Note on HBO Max. Didn't know it was on HBO Max. I like the anime Death Note. There's only been one anime of it. Why do you think we'll keep our memories? We might not. Because I know. King of Comedy is awesome like Taxi Driver. I like Taxi Driver better than King of Comedy. King of Comedy has its moments, but there's a lot of slow periods in that movie. 7th, Ballsack Gaming. No politics in this stream. 7th, I know that Johnny Depp won't return for the next Pirates movie. The franchise won't be the same without him. Agreed. 7th, how's your PS5 holding up? 0 issues. Stays on pretty much all day. The only reason it's not on right now is because I'm in here. The vaccine is essential, so there's regulations against scalping it. Yeah, well, it's going to be doctor distributed and military distributed depending on where you're at. So how would you scalp it anyway? Do you think Darth Vader should have survived? It's not like you're going to be able to go onto WalmartPharmacy.com and order all the bottles. Come on. Do you think Darth Vader should have survived in Return of the Jedi? I wouldn't have minded it if he had. What's the best hot brewed coffee? I'm not a coffee guy. I'm more of a hot chocolate guy, but of course now I'm type 2, so I can't drink hot chocolate. Not on a regular basis anyway. Do you like the film Good Son? It was okay. I think Robert Downey Jr. should not return as Iron Man. I agree, because he's dead. Are you using HDMI 2.1 capable TV for PS5? Yes. I have a 70-inch 4K. 70-inch 4K. Hot chocolate is for kids. I don't care. I like it. Technically speaking, video games and cartoons are supposed to be for kids too, but lots of adults watch them and play them. You know what else is for kids? Milk. But how many things do you enjoy that have milk in them? Killzone sucks. I already said that about Killzone Shadowfall. Wait a minute. Magic powers. 7th, as a huge Luke Skywalker fan and hater of The Last Jedi, is Rise of Skywalker worth my time? Well, it does retcon a lot of the stuff from The Last Jedi, but it's still not good. I wouldn't bother, really. I just stick to The Mandalorian. Gotta go get food. You'll be in the background, though. Okay. Everyone is mad that Joe Rogan moved to Spotify. I don't care. How do you like The Mandalorian? I think The Mandalorian is great. It's a great show. Fortnite is for kids, but too many adults play that. You're not wrong. Final Master Link. Hey, 7th. Hey, Final Master Link. General G. I only live 3 hours from General G now. I've been to Houston twice, maybe 3 times since I've been here. And both times he was supposed to meet up with me and then ended up getting drunk the night before and being too hungover to show up. So, but, you know, I still talk to him every now and again on Facebook. Logan or the Dark Knight? I prefer the Dark Knight. Did you hear about that streamer that killed his pregnant wife on stream? Something about it. I didn't read up on it. Kind of a dark topic to bring up in here, but okay. Technically, it's gaming related, so I won't come down on you too hard for that. Oh, man. Is Texas your favorite state you've lived in? No, Florida. Even though it had hurricanes. Texas has tornadoes and hurricanes. But also, when I lived in Florida, I was never more than 30 minutes away from a beach. I was an hour away from Disney World, could go to Disney World anytime I wanted. Texas just has Six Flags. And it has beaches too, but they all suck unless you're willing to go down to closer to the border, like around Corpus Christi and shit. The fact that it retcons some stuff from the previous film is even worse. The whole trilogy is... Yeah, it is. Started playing Death Stranding. What do you think of the game? I haven't played it yet myself. I know 8th really liked it. What are your thoughts on virtual reality games? Depends on the game. I have really enjoyed some, and I have thought others were pointless. Did you hear George Lucas' sequel trilogy plan that Darth Maul would be the villain? I've heard it. Probably should have been that. I'm type 2 diabetic, and I gave up vaping. Heard it messes with your blood vessels. I haven't had any issues with it. Of course, then again, I'm barely considered type 2. I'm like right on the line. And the only reason I'm right on the line is because a couple of years ago, they lowered the benchmark. And so by default, I got moved into it by them lowering the benchmark. But even then, it's like the line between pre-diabetic and type 2 is right here. And I'm right there. I'm just barely above it. I barely qualify as type 2. But I've never had any issues with this. And here's the thing. The primary thing that could affect you really with vaping and being type 2 is that so many different vape juices have sugar in them. All these fruit-flavored ones and cheeseburger-flavored ones and all that. I use one that has a non-sugar artificial sweetener in it that gives it a little bit of a blackberry taste, but my preference is this one that's just got kind of a spearmint and menthol, and so it doesn't have any sugar in it. Trust me, Texas has just as many racists in it as Florida does. All you got to do is head out to the trailer parks. They're there. That's just the way it is, man. If the state has trailer parks in it, you're going to have some racist people there. It is what it is. Should the Mass Effect Remastered trilogy include a different ending? I would hope so. Try living in Ireland. It sucks. No, thank you. My heritage is Scottish. That doesn't mean I'd ever want to live in Scotland, although I hear it's better than Ireland. Are the launch games for PS5 better than those for PS4? I think so, yeah. Because, Knack was Knack and Killzone Shadowfall was garbage. Florida only has Disney, but if you are where I am, there's also Busch Gardens and Adventure Island. Correct. I used to live in Tampa and outside of Tampa, so I went to Busch Gardens a lot. I had an annual pass there. I could go to Busch Gardens any weekend that I wanted to. I had coil wine in my PS5 for about 3 or 4 days. Either it worked itself out or I'm used to it because I haven't heard a peep from the console in about a week. Cool. I haven't had any coil wine. And even if I did, I wouldn't hear it because I'm sitting 8 feet away from my console. My console is all the way on the other side of the game room. I sit in a recliner that's like 8 feet away from my massive 70-inch TV, and my PS5 sits next to it. So even if it was being loud, I'd have no clue. But I've walked up to it and listened to it, and it's as quiet as a church mouse. The only time I hear it is every 4 or 5 hours, the fan will kick up for about 7 seconds, and then it shuts itself off. Like it's just regulating itself from the ambient temperature in the room or something. Seventh, as you stated many times before, with an increase of realistic graphics from gaming gen to gen, do you think we'll start to be seeing more diverse art styles? Well, yeah, because the closer you get to photorealism, the less of a visual difference you're going to see from one gen to the next. Eventually, you'll get to the point where everything is photorealistic and there won't really be any way to make the graphics any better than they are aside from resolution. So then it all becomes about art style and about changing the way we experience the games. That's why even though it's a weaker console, you have all these reviewers saying that PlayStation 5 feels more like a generational leap because of the DualSense. I mean, they didn't even change the menus for the Series X. So the only difference that you experience from going from Xbox One X to Xbox Series X is the frame rate on some of the games. That's it. And the controller has a share button now. I was told nicotine restricts blood flow. It can cause, depending on how much nicotine is in it, it can restrict your blood vessels for, how long it does that depends on how much of it you smoke and what the nicotine level is. I cycle between 0 nicotine or the lowest percentage available, which is usually 0.3, which is nowhere near as close as the amount of nicotine you'd get from smoking a regular cigarette. It's hardly any. And yes, I used to smoke. And I quit and went to this. Hi, R.W. Lemon. I don't know why that was held. All you said was, what's up? That's weird. Texas wants to leave the U.S. Texas have always talked about that. It's, the laws were changed after the Civil War, so, it's not as legally easy of a thing for states to secede from the Union as it used to be. Did you like the remake of it? I didn't. The remake of what? Thoughts on the 1988 cult film Permanent Record? Haven't seen it. I live just east of Plant City. Not sure if you know where that is. Nope. Why are the Xbox code names are better than the actual names? I don't know, but you're not wrong. I'm on 18 milligram on my vape. That's a really high level of nick. That's on up. I don't think I've ever even seen anything higher than 12 in a store. 7th, what kind of mythology do you want Indiana Jones to explore? I think Indiana Jones has always been best when it's dealing with like something out of the Bible. So I'd like to see him like, I don't know. They've already done Ark of the Covenant. They've done the Holy Grail. Maybe something to do with Samson or something. like the Pillars of Samson or some biblical artifact. The Spear of Longinus, maybe, the Spear of Destiny. I don't know. Thoughts? I don't know. I was vaping a 50 milligram menthol. Well, you were vaping way too much Nick, man. What were you doing? Mixing your own juice? I mean, this is currently I'm out of my zero Nick, but this is the one that I'm using right now. It's called Vape Dojo Blackberry Menthol, and it's a 3 milliliter. Not sure where on the... Yeah, it's right there. 3... It's right under my finger right there. 3 milligram, 120 milliliter bottle. You were smoking 50 milligrams. There's no wonder you're having problems. Mine barely has enough in it for it to even slightly raise my heartbeat. And it doesn't even do that. I heard someone say that character models will only get so photorealistic, but it's the details and environments is what will evolve. Well, as technology will improve and graphics power will improve, photorealism is as high as it's going to get. Whether you're talking about the environments or the characters. And then it becomes about how you play the experience, the size of the worlds, how you interact with them, the quality of the AI, as far as how AI can affect storytelling. I started a new review channel on YouTube. Got any tips for growth? Yeah, do a different kind of channel. Review channels are a dime a dozen now. Switching over primarily to reviews instead of doing counter videos is part of what killed it for me. Used to sell 24. I mean, my review videos did all right for a while, and then the algorithm was changed, and now I can't get any views on my reviews to save my life. Did you know California wants to leave the U.S.? That wouldn't surprise me. 7th, which serial killer from Mindhunter do you think is the most chilling? For me, it's Kemper. I agree with Kemper. I heard you canceled your Polymega order. That's correct. Does that mean the retro streams are canceled, or are you going to pull out the RetroPie again? I might pull out the RetroPie. The main reason I wanted the Polymega was so I'd be able to play Saturn and PS1 games and stream those. But the main reason that I canceled the pre-order was because Walmart kept authorization charging my account over and over again, so it was making it to where some of my bills were starting to bounce. And so I had to cancel it just to get the money back in my account. They were doing it like twice a week. And so they would authorization charge me, but the last authorization charge they had charged me hadn't come off of the account yet. So, every time I turned around, my account was missing $1,600. RW Lemon, I don't know why, but all of your comments are being hidden no matter what's in them. What game are you looking forward to next? I don't know. Probably God of War. Thoughts on Pokimane? I don't watch her. Walmart is awful. Yes, they are. If Polymega had put the thing on pre-order at Amazon.com, I'd still have it pre-ordered right now, because Amazon doesn't authorization charge you when you pre-order. They don't charge you nothing until the day it ships. Alaska and Hawaii should leave the U.S. 7th, I couldn't care less about Pokimane, and neither should you. I don't watch celebrity streamers. I was using Salt Bay 50 milligram watermelon ice. Jesus. That's way too high. Way too high. Is it? No, that comment got hidden too. I don't know why, but all of your comments are being hidden for review. I have no idea. I didn't flag you or anything. You're not in a timeout. You're not listed as a hidden. I have no idea. But, if the Polymega actually ever comes out, after their first batch of consoles are sold, maybe I'll try to buy it directly from them at that time. But that's it. Thoughts on Chris Rock? I like Chris Rock. He's funny. Amazon will become a monopoly, and that will suck. Well, yeah. We'll see. What kind of channel do you think has potential if reviewing is overstated? Honestly, vlog channels do better than review channels nowadays. Where it's just people talking about their life and crap. Look, I went out and bought a new car. I'm taking my car for a drive. I don't know why people watch that crap, but they do. I could never do that. My life is too boring. Hey, everybody, look, I'm sitting at my laptop fixing somebody's connection to the server. Look. Look, I'm telnetting into my boss's account. No one would watch that. 7, thank you for giving us tough love with your honest opinions and comments. A lot of adults spew BS. Is what it is. Why lie? Truth is far too much fun. Amazon will become I already answered that. Thoughts on Bezos being Santa Claus this year? Okay. Crime-related channels, yeah. True crime channels. Those do well. I mean, I think I would have fun doing one of those talking about spooky topics channels. But one, I don't really have the voice for it. I don't have a spooky enough voice. But then again, look at Chills. Chills has the most obnoxious voice on YouTube, but he gets views from talking about spooky stuff. With his, SoCal 80s era surfer voice. I can't stand his speaking voice, man. It gets on my nerves so bad. And the second reason that I wouldn't be good at doing one of those spooktacular type channels is I'm not any good at graphics. And all of those channels have, for the most part, have really good production quality, and I don't know how to do any of that crap. Have you seen the film Buried? Is that the one with Ryan Reynolds where he's buried alive? Have you heard of Omar Gosh TV? He does haunted stuff you might like. Not familiar with that one. I've seen a couple by Blame It on Jorge. YouTube ain't been the same since 2009. You're not wrong. GameStop will eventually become the next Blockbuster. Not necessarily, since Microsoft bought such a big stake in them. 7th, do you fancy GameSack? Yes, I like GameSack. I've met him in person once too. 7th, can you do an impersonation of a surfer dude? No. I'm not any good at that accent. Not any good at it at all. Nobody cares about my birthday, look. Have you watched Mr. Nightmare? No, I haven't. Two evils have untied. Two evils have untied? Okay. Thank you, RW Lemon. And again, I still don't know why I keep having to unhide your comments when there's nothing bad in them. Why do you think Microsoft bought into GameStop? No idea. I'm sure they had some reason. Ever watch Dead Meat? Don't think so. It's unbelievable how many adverts there are on YouTube now. On my phone without ad block, it's unbearable. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I appreciate the honesty, 7. Cool. Maybe he was shadow banned. Maybe. It's possible. Stranger things have happened. Meanwhile, I've pretty much finished up 8th's Christmas present buying. There's a couple of more albums I'm going to buy him for his record collection, and that's about it. Mostly the games I bought him this year were Switch games because there's just not that much. There's nothing he wants on Xbox, and as far as Xbox One X, and there wasn't that much on PS5. I bought him the ones he wanted, and not anything new on PS4 that he wanted. So I mainly just video game wise, I bought him the handful of PS5 games he wanted, and then the rest of it is Switch games that he didn't necessarily want to actually play them, but were exclusives missing from his library. So, all joking aside, would you agree that if it wasn't for 2001: A Space Odyssey, we wouldn't have Alien, Interstellar, and the moon landing? I wouldn't agree that we wouldn't have landed on the moon if it wasn't for 2001, but as far as a movie goes, it definitely influenced Interstellar. Alien, not so much. We had space horror movies way before 2001 was even thought of. Like The Thing from Another World and all that kind of stuff. We had sci-fi horror films way before 2001 ever was thought of. 7th, do you think slapstick and wrestling games can be funny? Yes, definitely. Disney fired all Deadpool 3 writers and producers, so it seems like it'll be trash and woke. Probably. Can you tell us a story of where you got the 7th moniker? I've told that story a million times now. Screw Disney, they're ruining everything. Would you ever play games on stream to capture 8th playing a challenging run or something unique for an occasion? I've streamed 8th before. One time for the 7thCast, he beat all of the bosses for Shadow of the Colossus. Have I played the new Microsoft Flight Simulator? No. Seventh moniker story again. Okay, when I was 17, I was working at the video store inside Farmore, Farmore was kind of like CVS Pharmacy, only it had more groceries and it had its own video store. And the weekend, the weekend after the day after Labor Day is always a busy day because people would come in and rent everything for Labor Day. And then the day after, everyone would return their movies at the same time. Well, guess what? Everybody called out sick that day except me. So I ended up being in the movie department by myself, and they had no one else to cover later shifts. And I was like scanning movies back in and renting movies back out all day long. And I did a double shift. And at the end of it, my manager came by and patted me on the back, and he was like, "Thanks for doing a double shift. You really dragged this department out of the 7th circle of hell today." Well, the store had this janitor who was mentally differently abled, and he heard that, and so it got to where every time this kid would walk by cleaning and see me, he'd go, 7th level. And then he'd keep on walking. Well, one day, I was working, and some of my friends from high school came to see me, and the kid came walking and pointed at him, pointed at me, 7th level. And they're like, "What's that about?" And I'm like, "Oh, he just calls me that all the time." And so my friends at school started calling me 7th. And so then, during my senior year, I got interested in the BBS community. Now, BBSs are bulletin board systems. They were like the precursor to the World Wide Web. And so, when I started getting into those communities and joining all these different BBS sites, I knew that nobody went by their real name, that everybody used a handle. And so that just seemed like the natural handle for me to use. So I called myself the 7th level. And whenever I'd send a message, I'd sign it as 7th. And it's just stuck. And I've been the 7th level for over 25 years now. So anyway, that's how I became the 7th level. It was a nickname given to me by a mentally challenged janitor. Yeah, I heard about the Metal Gear Solid movie. I heard they picked Oscar Isaac for it, and I like Oscar Isaac, but I just can't picture him in that role. Would you like to see a God of War animated movie? Yes. Will you stream The Last of Us 2 for one stream if someone donated $100? No, because I hate that game. Did you hear they're making a Metal... I just answered that. I've heard this story twice. No, 3 times now. Yep. Hey, 7th. How are you? I'm fine. Turning 46 this month. Will you watch The Walking Dead again? Nope. Still trapped in 2016, it seems. I am the gamer. Guys in the chat, can you see my... They can't see you. They can only see you when I unblock your comments, RW Lemon. And your experience, does asking for likes and subs actually work? No. In my experience, I can put that please like, favorite, and subscribe in the video and get no more additional subs than if I didn't say it at all. They can see it after I unblock it, RW Lemon, but if I leave it as hidden, they don't see it. They do not see it. Do you think any show will surpass Breaking Bad? Not anytime soon. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love The Mandalorian, but it's not Breaking Bad. Not by a long shot. Breaking Bad was great. And it's one of the few examples of a long-running show that has a satisfactory ending. Most shows that run for a long time, their last episode is horse crap. I almost said a wordy dird. One day I'll watch Better Call Saul. That show doesn't interest me as much. Don't watch Star Trek Discovery. It's crap this season. Star Trek Discovery is crap every season. That show's garbage. You're right. El Camino was not needed. I mean, it was interesting enough, but I didn't need to know what happened to Jesse after he drove off into the darkness. I liked that being left up to the viewer to decide. No, I didn't hate him, but I didn't need to know what happened to him after that night. 7th, what other nickname would you give 8th besides 8th? I don't know. That I wouldn't give him any other nickname. It's up to him. I started calling him 8th as a joke, and he decided to keep it. It's always been up to him. Are you looking forward to the Kenobi series? Sure, if it ever actually gets made. And yes, El Camino was kind of boring. Looks like this is going to be another 3-hour stream, folks. Wow. I'm just not I'm not entertaining enough no more. That's all there is to it. Plus it's close to Christmas. It's close to Christmas. That's the one thing that sucks about my birthday being in December. Is I don't get birthday presents because no one ever has any money left. You're going to get one warning, Italian cuss words generator. You've already had one troll comment hidden. You post one more and you're gone. No ifs, ands, or buts. I'm a one strike and you're out kind of guy. Either play along nice like everyone else, or GTFO, my friend. Did you like Game of Thrones? I liked the first 4 or 5 seasons of it. 7th, what's your favorite scene in Back to the Future Part 1? Probably the cameo of Huey Lewis. I'm sorry, guys. I'm afraid you're just too darn loud. Next, please. That one cracks me up because, I'm old enough to know who Huey Lewis was. And then what's really funny was that was really Michael J. Fox playing the guitar. My birthday's in December too. I feel your pain. Yeah, it sucks. My wife's birthday was the 1st of January. I forgot one year to say it. It was a bad day for me. I bet. For a second, I thought your mic was messed up again. Nope. 7th real name is 7th, huh? Who knew? December baby here, 7th. Yeah, it sucks, don't it? No one uses my real name in my life. Even the people at my job don't call me by my real name. I have a nickname there that's not 7th, it's something else. But that's what everyone calls me. Nobody calls me by my real name. And pretty much everyone outside of 8th that knows me in my real life calls me 7th. 8th calls me Dad. So it might as well be my real name because that's what 90% of the people in my life call me. No, my birthday is not the 7th of December. Do you think Darth Vader could make a cameo in The Mandalorian? That would be fun. Have you been allowed to work from home this entire year? I've been working from home since March 3rd. And it's my understanding that the company has felt it was such a success that even after this whole COVID mess is finally over, I will probably still be working from home. And I don't complain about that because it saves me a lot on gas. Yeah, I've heard that my brother was drunk at my computer store before. You're going to have to do better than that. Summer or winter? I like the summer. Do you think Crap Gamer will ever stop being an Xbot? Well, Crap Gamer only talks about PlayStation now. He switched over a couple of years ago because he was losing views from being a Xbox supporter, so he switched over to PS5 because he thought it'd make him more money. Spring or fall? Fall. Italian is a troll and a half. Yeah, he ain't fooling nobody. Would you mind seeing a Darth Vader movie? I'd love to see a Darth Vader-centric movie. How hot can it get in Texas? Well over 100 degrees. Well over 100 degrees. Fall or winter? Winter, because that's when Christmas happens. Remember, I love Halloween, but I like Christmas better than Halloween. Even though I don't get presents for Christmas. Because 8th doesn't have a job. Do you know when Bond will do the CSAs this year? He hasn't told me. I hate raking leaves. Don't really have that problem in Texas. Don't really have that problem at all. The type of trees that I have in my yard are pretty much evergreen, so, there's never leaves for me to rake. Why doesn't 8th work? He worked for a while and then decided he wanted to focus on his schooling and he quit. So he stayed at his job long enough to buy up all the computer parts that he wanted, and then he quit. He'll go back to work after he's finished with his schooling. Do you think PS5 will have something Sly or Jack and Daxter related? I don't know. Maybe. I have a feeling, though, that if they bring Jack and Daxter back, it won't be by Naughty Dog. Favorite Christmas movie is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I answered that one already earlier in the stream. Yes, I did. And let me just get rid of that. And let me just get rid of that. And get rid of that. Definitely get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Oh, I have a movie recommendation for you guys. I almost forgot. You know how I like to give y'all movie recommendations. But first, let me catch up on the chat. When are you getting your Christmas? I don't buy a real tree. I have a fake tree that I use every year. It's already up. Do you want to play Hades? I'd like to try it, but I don't think it's on PS5. Isn't it just only on Steam? I wouldn't mind trying it, but I'm not rushing to get it. Would you like to see a Darth Maul film? Sure. Do you think at the end of next year the virus will just be less than the flu? I don't know. We'll find out. But anyway, movie recommendation. If you like dark, almost superhero-ish films like Unbreakable, there is a movie that's on Amazon. It just hit Amazon like a couple of weeks ago that you should check out. It's called Mortal. 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 And I watched it yesterday, and I wasn't satisfied with the ending. The ending is a definite cliffhanger ending. But overall, it's definitely setting up a sequel. But overall, I really, really enjoyed that film. It has that kind of slow burn feel like Unbreakable does. And it deals with someone coming to terms with superpowers like Unbreakable does, but it goes a totally different direction with it. I will say this, once I found out where the movie took place, I knew exactly where they were going with it, but they did it in a different and interesting way, and I really enjoyed it. So check out Mortal. Gets the 7th seal of approval. Good movie. Oh, it's on Switch? Still don't care. If it makes it onto PS5, I'll try it out. Otherwise, Remember, I was never even able to get a Switch Lite. And the main Switch is an 8th room and will probably never come out of there, so I don't really play Switch that much. That's why you've never seen a Switch review from me. Thoughts on the PSP 5G? I don't think it'll actually happen. I just think it's another patent that they filed for the sake of filing a patent. Worst movie of all time. I'm not a fan of Zardoz, but even Zardoz is probably better than Plan 9 from Outer Space. Plan 9 from Outer Space is funny to watch. And in some ways, I find it more entertaining than most of the stuff that's made by The Asylum. But I still think it holds the crown overall for worst film made, aside from some of these ones that are so low budget that they look like they're filmed with a camcorder. But I don't even count those as real movies. Which was better, Hercules or Mulan? I liked Mulan better. One of the big things I didn't like about Hercules is why they chose to mix Southern gospel style music with Greek mythology. It just didn't feel like it fit. I understand what they were trying to do with it, but it just didn't work for me. I love the music. I just don't think it fit the film. Yeah, I've seen Heather to death, man. Heather's was all right, but, I can only sit through that movie so many times. Trolls 2 was bad, yes, but I've seen worse. What movies are the Mandalorian episodes between? It takes place between episode 6 and episode 7. I think it's like takes place like a couple of years after Return of the Jedi or something like that. Opinion on the movie Born on the 4th of July. It was interesting, but it's not one of my favorite films. Yeah, The Room was pretty bad. The Room was pretty bad. I've only watched The Room once. That was all I could take. That was all I could stand. I liked The Cell from a visual standpoint. It had some interesting ideas. They just didn't take it as far as they could have. But as far as some of the visuals and the overall idea of it, I really liked it. It just failed in a little bit of the story execution. Kathleen Kennedy or J.K. Rowling? Who's worse? Kathleen Kennedy. J.K. Rowling only ruins her own properties. She doesn't try to ruin other properties that she had no direct hand in the creation thereof. J.K. Rowling doesn't try to F up pre-existing properties. She just messes around with her own. I want another Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp. We kind of all want that, although the last two haven't been that great. I mean, really, the first three are the only ones truly worth messing with. Thoughts on Daredevil going back to Disney? Would you want a season 4 of Netflix Daredevil? I wouldn't mind a season 4 on Disney Plus. I wouldn't mind it. I could do without Iron Fist. Nick Cage was okay. But I don't really see that being on Disney Plus, maybe on Hulu. I mean, I couldn't really see any of them being on Disney Plus because they were all R-rated. But I could see them showing up on Hulu. But I don't need Iron Fist, and I don't need Jessica Jones. And, really, Daredevil was the only one out of the whole bunch that I really liked. The Punisher was okay, but I didn't like him in that role because I just kept looking at him and all I could see was Travis Bickle. I didn't feel he just didn't have the right look. Thoughts on Kratos and Fortnite? I generally think it's a bad idea, but I know some people will like it. What do you want in the Spider-Verse 2? I don't care because I wasn't a huge fan of the Spider-Verse 1. That was more of an 8 thing. Favorite Depp performance? Probably the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And pretty much anything that he did with Tim Burton except for Alice in Wonderland. That movie was terrible. 7th, did you ever see The Brothers Grimm? Yeah, it had some cool imagery, but that was a boring movie. I think Terry Gilliam directed that, didn't he? I want to say that was a Terry Gilliam movie. I could be wrong. I loved Ed Wood. I liked Ed Wood too. Ed Wood was a good film. In fact, that's one of the ones that I own on Amazon Prime. Now, if you want to see some really, almost as old school as it gets, old school Terry Gilliam, you can watch for free one of his earliest movies on Amazon Prime. It's called The Jabberwocky. And, you can tell it's low budget, but that's kind of a fun, messed up movie. Worst console launch? Oh, Lord. Probably the Jaguar. Most boring film you've ever seen, The English Patient. Don't even have to think about that one. I didn't watch The Undertaker's Final Farewell. Have you seen the film Unhinged? No, I have not. I'm hearing Disney Plus is adding an adult section for Touchstone and stuff like that. That surprises me. I just thought they'd put all that on Hulu since they own Hulu. Brazil is another jam by Gilliam. Yeah, but Brazil is way later. Jabberwocky is like from the, Holy Grail era. And I think it actually came out maybe before Holy Grail did. It almost feels like a student film compared to Holy Grail. But it has some fun moments in it. Oh God, the Highlander game on Jaguar CD, that game is terrible. That's got to be on the list of some of the worst games ever made. Just absolutely horrible. Oh, and by the way, there we go. 1 hour remaining. We have had 0 donations. So this isn't going to be an extended stream again tonight. I get it. Too close to Christmas. I get it. Do you think John Cena as Sandman would be good? There could be some potential there, depending on how they treated it. I thought The Exorcist was a boring film. I can't agree with you on that one. I love The Exorcist. Seen it a million times. Yeah, Underworld went to crap. It went to crap. They put out too many of them. What is the worst game ever made? I don't know about the worst, but the worst one I've probably ever played was Irritating Stick. How much money do you need for your Christmas or your birthdays? I've already bought all of 8's Christmas. I've already bought all of 8's Christmas. And I already said, anything that would get donated to me for my birthday or anything donated this month is either going to go into a fund to buy an Xbox Series X so I can review it, or it's going to go to buying the $300 foot pedal that I want for my guitar so I can have better quality guitar audio for my future tracks. That's one of the main reasons why I haven't been making any further tracks after I put Smilin' Jack out, is that I was happy with the quality of Smilin' Jack, but I wanted it to have more oomph. It's not as it doesn't have as good volume and richness as a studio quality track would. You still have to kind of pot it up on your speakers to get it to be as loud as any other band that you might watch on YouTube, and part of that was the way that I recorded the guitar. And so I'm wanting to get a better guitar pedal, and I have one picked out, but it's $300, and I just don't have $300. Do you like Sandman in Spider-Man 3? Well, I mean, he's different from Sandman from the comics, but I liked the portrayal, and I thought I can't remember the actor's name, but I thought he did a good job with the script that he was working with. Did you like Devil Inside? I liked it until that stupid ending. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday, Stranded J. Just went and bought a 25 milligram strawberry watermelon. Doesn't hit as hard, but it works. The only ones that I like are menthol, because I like the cool feeling going down. My favorite vape juice was called White Walker. It was made by a company called Seduce Juice out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and they went out of business in September. But it wasn't carried here in Texas anyway, and so that kind of sucked. And this is like the closest thing that I've been able to find to White Walker. So the menthol is still nowhere near as strong, but it's the closest thing I've found so far. Do you have a dog? I have 2. Irritating Stick. What's that? Look it up. It's a PS1 game, and it sucks. It was based on a Japanese game show, and it's terrible. I have 2 dogs. Both of them very old. I probably won't have them very much longer. Maybe a couple of years. One of them's 15 and one of them's about to turn 12. Have you seen Jiu-Jitsu? No, I have not. Did you see my comment? I don't see another comment from you. How far up was it? I'm not seeing another comment from Wannabe Gamer. I don't see it, man. You'll have to repost it. It must be way on up there. Did you like Booger Man? Not, it was funny, but I didn't think the gameplay was anything to write home about. Have you seen any gorgeous Lara Croft cosplays? Not in person. I've seen some online, but I haven't seen one in person at any of the cons I've been to. Ghost of Tsushima at 60 frames per second is so good. Yeah, it does look really nice. I mean, I've watched 8th play it. I haven't played it myself because I already platted it, but he is playing the multiplayer. Well, Wannabe, I scrolled up 2 screens and I didn't see it, man. I don't see a comment from you. I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I'm scrolling and I don't see you. I scrolled all the way up to one of Italian cuss words troll comments, and I don't see anything else from you before you said, hey, did you see my comment? So maybe you thought you posted it, but you didn't, because I don't see it. 7th, are you a fan of eggnog? No, I'm not. I do not drink eggnog. Did you like the Boogeyman film? I only watched the first one, and the first one didn't impress me that much, so I didn't bother with the sequels. YouTube must have blocked it then. I don't know. Was it something that YouTube would normally block? I smoke Juuls because it's convenient. I don't get strong enough of a hit off of a Juul. I mean, yeah, they tend to have a higher nicotine content, but they don't feel as filling in the lungs as my mod does. My mod has a decent cloud to it. Going from the DualSense to playing on my playing my PS2, the controller on PS2 feels like a toy. Did you ever play Astrobot Rescue Mission VR? I have it, but I haven't played it. What I said was I found out why I can't log into PlayStation website. My web browser does not support the site. Well, that's weird. What is DualSense? That's the PS5 controller. Vape shops popping up all over here in Louisiana. I use the Renova Zero Pods. Yeah, I go to the same shop. There's a shop that I tried out when I first moved here that you just told them what you wanted and they'd mix it for you, but they got the nicotine content wrong and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I don't know what. I told them 3% and I think they put 30% in there. I've told them, 3 milligrams. I think they put 30 milligrams in instead. And my heart rate shot up through the roof. I got really dizzy, and I had to throw the bottle away. And so then I started going to this other shop and just buying, pre-mixed bottles. And I haven't had that problem since. Do you think the voice of Kronk from Emperor's New Groove is awesome? I forgot his name, but he's funny. He's the same guy that plays Joe on Family Guy. I can't remember his name either. He was also Putty on on Seinfeld. No, I do not own a tablet. I don't have an iPad. I don't have an Android tablet. None of that. I have a work issued laptop that I only use for work. So how come you skipped last week? Because it was a holiday weekend and I don't stream on holiday weekends. Holiday weekends, I like to chill, play games, and watch movies. How big is your PS2 collection? I think I have like 94 or 95 games for PS2, I think. Somewhere around in there. I have zero reason to buy an Xbox Series X. That makes two of us because I already have a One X. And One X has the exact same library so far. So I have no reason to buy a Series X at the moment other than to review it. Or if there was any 30 frames per second Xbox One X games that I wanted to play at 60 frames per second. Like, I don't know, Crackdown 3. Unless Crackdown 3 has a locked frame rate. I don't know. Patrick Warburton, that's the guy. Thoughts on the Series S playing PS2 games? It's the same. It's the same thing as jailbreaking a system. You know, you can get emulators to run on just about anything. So it's not really, it doesn't mean nothing. If anybody out there was able to jailbreak the PS5, they'd be able to run the same crap on it because it's the same architecture. It's like I said before, it's just like putting, you know, emulation station on a Raspberry Pi. What are NUST PS2 games? The hell is a NUST? How many PS2 games were lost in the yard sale debacle of 2004? Man, you really got it wrong, Chris. It's the infamous yard sale debacle of 2004. None. She left my PS2 collection alone. It was everything else. By the time it was over with, all I was left with was my PS2 games. So I didn't lose any PS2 in it. Although I later, the year that I was out of work and me and my ex had split up, I needed money for Christmas presents for 8th. And so I sold all my video games that I had reamassed at that point and my guitar so to have money to buy him Christmas presents that year. And so all the PS2 games I have now are ones that I have rebought since around 2009. You can review the Switch, just walk into 8th room and say, mine now, put it in the living room. I don't like to go in his room and bother him. Please consider playing Bridge Crew. Do you like the two-tone design on PS5? I'd rather it be solid black, but that's just me. Are we getting a Miles Morales review? We'll see. We'll see. Have you played Link's Awakening? Yes. I didn't like the PS2 generation. I think it was because I was in college, didn't game much. Probably. I'm going to wait on buying the PS5 till the slim model comes out. Well, you're going to be waiting a while. PS1 is my favorite. I liked a lot of PS1 games. I just liked my PS2 more. What are some must-have PS2 games to get for a collection? A lot of the JRPGs. And of course, you know, you've got your mainstays like your God of Wars, your Gran Turismos, although I'm not all that big into Gran Turismo myself. The Persona games, although a lot of those have been re-released. I mean, a lot of the best games on PS2 have been re-released digitally. Like, for example, Dark Cloud, Dark Cloud 2, Rogue Galaxy, stuff like that. Shadow Hearts is the most underrated RPG on PS2. Shadow Hearts is a good one. I used to have it. I don't have it anymore. Wish I did. And yeah, Sly Cooper, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, although all of those have been re-released on PS3. Okami's been re-released on damn near everything. My fun money, unless President-elect Biden comes through on his student loan forgiveness promise, my fund money every month is going to go down in about 7 months. I only have 7 months left on my forbearance, and then I have to start paying back on my student loans, which is going to cut my fund money down by $200 a month. Now, I suspect that $100 of that will be compensated for by my annual merit increase, because my annual raise usually amounts to like an extra $100 a month after tax, 150, depending on how well I do. But I only get big raises when I get promotions. But still, that means $100 less in my pocket every month to spend on fun stuff. I ain't looking forward to that. Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts has been re-released to death too. It was re-released on PS3 and then it was re-released again on PS4. If they made a movie about your life, who would you cast to play the seventh family? I have no idea, because nobody in Hollywood looks like me. I mean, in the current shape that I'm in, probably the closest approximation would be Jack Black at this point. Got Spider-Man PS5 Remaster. Comparing to PS4, it's nice seeing 60 frames per second. This is probably the last gen for me because of digital takeover. I know how you feel. The dude holding the boombox in Batman 89 could play you. I'm not that big. That dude was kind of big. I'm not that big. You guys remember, I'm like 5'8.5". Yeah, I'm not a tall man. I'm like Joe Average. $5'9" if I'm wearing boots. It's going to suck seeing physical media go away. Yeah, you're not kidding. You're not kidding. It's going to take half the fun out of it for me because, I love to collect. I love to collect. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, magic powers. Oh. 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 Oh, that's making my eyes water. Oh, God. What did I eat? Oh, it's got lasting power, too. I'm going to have to name it. Oh. I name it Ralph. Oh, man. That was one of them eyes-watering, rotten egg farts. Good God. I'm glad I tacked my posters to the wall instead of taping them. The glue on the tape probably would have stripped off. Whew. Yeah, I don't see me stopping collecting retro games anytime soon. 7th, you got to watch your powers. One day you're going to blow up your house. You never know. Is there a comic book that you would ever want to own? I lost interest in collecting comic books a long time ago, man. A long time ago. If I wanted anything that's comic book related, it would probably be if they made one of those volumes, where they took an entire run of a comic and put it in one volume. I don't even know if such a thing exists, but I would want a volume that has the entire Danny Ketch run of Ghost Rider in it. So it'd have all the Tex Aviera artwork and all that. Have the whole run of Ghost Rider's Danny Ketch from, when he first touches the cap of the motorcycle all the way to the end. when he stopped being Ghost Rider and somebody else took over. If they made a big master volume of that, that's one I might want. But otherwise, no. I don't even read books much anymore. I couldn't tell you. I think the last book I read all the way through was Dr. Sleep. I just don't have the time to sit and read books anymore. I used to read voraciously. I used to go through dozens of books a year, and I just don't do it anymore. Which is kind of sad, but it is what it is. It gets to the point where you work so much that you only have a certain amount of time that you can devote to doing what you want to do. And so it's like, do I want to work in a video? Do I want to play a video game? Do I want to work on a song? Or do I want to sit and read a book? 7th, I could smell that through my earpiece. Maybe because I was just so descriptive. With today's comic book collecting, it's just collecting covers. That ain't much different than it was in the 90s. Because every big comic that came out, they had 4 or 5 different cover versions of it to try to boost their sales. Hi, Corbin Dallas. Digging the Santa beard. I'm not trying to grow a beard. I'm just being lazy and not bothering to shave because I don't have to go out anywhere. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh. Oh, damn. Hold on a minute. Hold on. I got to do something. This is getting too drastic. Hold on. Oh. Oh. Oh, God. That's better. Okay. I know my beard is sticking out of it, but I don't care. Oh. Much better. Much better. Whew. Man. Oh. Is it just me, or is the digital PS5 selling less than expected? It doesn't seem to have. It seems like people are still wanting to hold on to physical media a little bit, but we'll see, because all the charts are telling us, oh well, the digital versions of games are now taking up 75% of the market. But how much of that is Steam buyers? That overall 75% that they keep talking about, how much of that is from Steam software sales and not consoles? That's my question. My mom is a book lover. She can read a book in a week. I read the entirety of Stephen King's It in a single sitting in one day. It's like I got the book home from my middle school library. Yes, they carried Stephen King in my middle school library. Probably doesn't happen now. I don't know. But I took it home, and I started reading it at around 4 o'clock, and I finished it at 1 in the morning. I read really fast. You must be Dumbledore with that much magic power. I don't know about that. Did you score any Black Friday games? None for myself. I bought some stuff for 8th Christmas. You look like Darth Vader now. Darth 7th. This looks weird. It looks like my mask has gray pubes. This looks so bizarre. Oh. It looks like I'm wearing some kind of a scarf, and you can only see part of it. Let me see. Okay, it's safe now. All right. Oh. Man. Whew. It's not illegal, no. In some parts of the country right now, it's mandatory to wear a mask in public. That's why I have that, for the rare occasion that I have to go out in public, which isn't often. Did you play Crash 4? No, I didn't play Crash 4. It wasn't one that I felt worth spending my money on. How do you feel about the fake made-up... well, I actually know people that caught it, so... Like, people I know in the real world. Several of my coworkers caught it. I don't know anyone that's died from it, but I've had several of my coworkers that caught it. I've had some of my friends that caught it. Some of my family up in Tennessee caught it. Do you think 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim will win Best Story? I don't know. I haven't played it. Do you think if story games stop being made, that online, no live stream games, that most people will stop gaming? I don't know. I do know that would pretty much kill Sony, because Sony is, their first party stuff is all about single player. I thought after 9/11 wearing masks in public became illegal. Wouldn't that mean that a whole bunch of people get arrested during Halloween every year? Well, wannabe, you can choose to believe me or not, but I'm telling you, I know people that have caught it and verified it by going to the doctor and being tested for it. I do not know anyone that's died from it, but I do know people who have caught it, including Redneck Chris. Redneck Chris caught it. I joked about him with it on Twitter because Billy posted a tweet apologizing for the fact that he was not going to be able to do a Christmas Robotica album this year. And I told Chris, I said, if he somehow manages to turn that around and it actually comes out, I'll pay you cash money to come down here and cough on me. Maybe physical games will be around longer than I thought, or maybe I just have false hope. We'll see. I mean, if there was some massive backlash against it, you never can tell. It just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I will say this. My particular area where I live, very, very low infection rate compared to other parts of the country. Within 700 miles of me, in a 700 square mile area of where I live, it's only a 2% infection rate, because where I live is kind of rural. It mostly hits the worst in like big cities and stuff, but I live out in the burbs, out in the outskirts, kind of rural area, and so there's just it hasn't really hit us where I live. I think in the 700 square mile area around me, there's been 170 deaths from it. But the infection rate is only like 2% of the population in the area where I'm at. Absolutely, it could have been avoided. Absolutely. Easily could have been avoided. But the thing of it is, we're now learning that by the time the country started doing travel bans, it was already here. Because we now know that there were cases of it all the way back in December in the United States. We just didn't know what it was. But I don't want to get big on that topic, especially because there's only 30 minutes left of the stream anyway. And don't you think we've talked about that enough as it is? You'd think even casual gamers would care about physical media a lot, since they often trade in old stuff for new. I don't trade in old stuff for new, but then again, I'm not a casual. But yeah, it kills trading stuff in. Two people that I work... Which killer artificial intelligence horrified you the most? HAL 9000, Ultron, or T1000? I don't know. Probably HAL 9000. 7th, what's your favorite soda? Pepsi. I heard the government knew it was coming but did nothing about it. No. Not really. Not really. But again, let's just drop it, all right? I've talked about that crap enough as it is. Too much for this stream anyway. Too much for this stream. One thing I don't like about growing a beard is on the sides, when it gets down to right here, instead of growing straight, it starts to curl. So then I get this sticking out crap. It's not flat. It poofs out the sides. And so I may shave this all off tomorrow or something. I don't know. Are we going to get a Battlefield 6? I wouldn't care if we did. I'm not into that series. If you could be immortal, would you want to be? Not in this body. Most surprising game you've played that you thought was crap? The Last of Us. I didn't like that game at all, and I liked the sequel even less. For me, the first one was just another survival horror game with Uncharted-inspired combat. And then the second one took the only good aspect of the first one, the story, and turned it to trash. Seventh, have you ever been in the desert? No. Never been that far out west. Never been that far out west. You should shave I wouldn't shave it all off. I'd keep the goatee, but I would trim it short because, I mean, at this point, it's starting to come out over my lip. Again, I've just been lazy and not bothering to shave it. It's the only reason that I have all this now. It's because I just haven't bothered to shave. Senior merch, what does run red mean? It means greatness is in the blood. Greatness runs red means greatness is in the blood. That's why 8th is on the shirt with me. How come 8th is sticking up the middle finger? Because that's kind of 8th's attitude. That's just kind of part of who 8th is. And of course, the design is no longer accurate because 8th now has a full beard. But the person that designed it was Woodhawker's girlfriend / fiance, Kim. Shave everything and just have 2 big sideburns. Does 8th like motorcycles? No. He's more into cars. He just doesn't have one yet. He just doesn't have one yet. Anyway, we're down to the last 30 minutes. We haven't had any donations, so 30 more minutes is all y'all are going to get tonight. When you get the money, you should do another Xbox One style review with the Xbox Series X. I intend to do a review of it if and when I get one. Don't know when I'll have, $500 lying around. What do you think should win Game of the Year over Last of Us 2? Ghost of Tsushima. Seventh, would you ever go with a fully shaved face, no mustache or beard? No. I don't like the way I look without a beard. I don't think I don't really even have that many pictures of me without a beard, short of like high school pictures. I have like one picture of me in high school that shows me without a beard, and I'm wearing like a blue jean jacket with 90s era stonewashed jeans and a skater bang, You know the one I'm talking about that were hang down over your eye. Phil Spencer ain't going to send me an Xbox Series X. I'm not popular enough. Which was the worst generation for gaming? I can't think of an entire bad gen. Because even in the Atari era, there was Atari games and Coleco games that I loved playing. I can't think of any gen where I was like, oh, this whole gen's been terrible. Or even, oh, this aspect of the gen has just been awful. I can't think of one. There hasn't been a single gen where I wasn't playing games in one form or another and loving it. Remember, I've been around long enough to have experienced all of them. Ghost was a great send-off for the PS4. No lies there. Wii U or the PS Vita, which was the worst? I played my Vita more than my Wii U. Did you finish Battletoads on NES? I don't think I ever originally owned it. I think I rented it a couple of times, but I didn't finish it. I beat Double Dragon 1 and 2. I don't think I ever beat 3. Yeah, I like Days Gone. I hear it's even better on the PS5, but I haven't tried it because I already have the Plat. I already have the Plat. So I don't want to, I don't want to waste any SSD space on my PS5 to install it just to play a game I've already played. And I'd be like, oh, well, this looks much nicer. Delete. Because here's the thing about SSDs. The SSD deteriorates the more you install and uninstall stuff. So if you're constantly installing something, playing it for a while, and then uninstalling it, you're over time that basically degrades the SSD. So you've got, especially on the PS5, depending on how much stuff you're installing and uninstalling, a limited shelf life for that console. Because with the PS5, the SSD is hard burned onto the board. Whereas with Xbox Series X, that's one advantage it has, is even the SSD that comes with it is removable. I mean, the particular model they have isn't one that you can just go out in a store and buy, but you could at least get a replacement part. Whereas with the PS5, you'd pretty much have to ship it off somewhere to have a new SSD soldered onto it, and I don't even know how much that would cost you to do. I'm hoping that's something that they fix with a re-release of the console, like a PS5 Slim or a PS5 Pro, that they make it to where you can replace not just an expansion slot, but you can replace the onboard SSD as well. I don't know if you could transfer everything over to the expansion slot on the PS5 to where it's even running its operating system off of an expansion slot, because the expansion slot's not going to have all the custom crap on it that their SSD does. I'd love an ActRaiser remake or sequel on the Switch. There was an indie game that came out that was supposed to be like a spiritual successor to ActRaiser. I don't remember the name of it, but it ended up sucking major ass. 7th, what is one memory as a kid that fills you with nostalgia that you would love to bring back? Well, like I said, man, aside from playing video games, most of my childhood was out riding BMXs. Most of my childhood I was either out riding my bike or I was playing video games, and of course playing with action figures and Transformers and stuff like that. But I mean, most of the stuff that I grew up with has been brought back or never left. Like Transformers, for example. Transformers never left. It just kept changing gens. I've never had a woman pick on me, so I couldn't tell you, Shadow Deist. Maybe you need to be a little bit better at asserting yourself. I don't know, but I've never had that problem. I'd say that if there are women out there, which I have, seen secondhand that this is the case, if there are women out there that pick on men, it's because men allow themselves to be picked on just like they allow themselves to be picked on by another man. Better serial murder family member film: The Stepfather, Serial Mom, The Good Son, or Orphan? I like The Stepfather out of that pack. Have you ever heard of Dating Game Killer? No. Oh, you mean the guy that was on the game show, The Dating Game, that ended up being a murderer? Yeah, I heard about him. Serial Mom was okay, but to me it was just a dark comedy. I mean, in a way, I think you could also put like Sleeping with the Enemy in that list, which I really that's one of the Julia Roberts movies that I actually like, was Sleeping with the Enemy. That was a pretty cool little thriller there. No, I didn't watch Angry Grandpa. I did not watch Angry Grandpa. 20 minutes left, everybody. 20 minutes left. Okay, that was just a little one. I'm not going to have to worry about that one. What is this crap? Oh, okay. Brightburn was pretty good, but I wouldn't call it a serial murder family movie. It's just a dark take on the superhero genre. Only they made him into a supervillain. I just got a notification from Amazon that an album that I pre-ordered for 8th for Christmas is going to get here on the 18th. That's good. It's the Ghost of Tsushima original soundtrack. Limited edition album release. I pre-ordered it. Do you think some streamers fake stream games they're not actually playing? Wouldn't surprise me. Did Clock Ninja get a hold of you? He wants to reunite the old gamer community. He showed up here on the chat earlier. I'm not sure why he would want to reconnect with me. I roasted him pretty bad in an old video, that interview video that I did with Hellhound 30X several years ago. Have you watched? Grindhead Shim donates $3. Hello, Grindhead. How's it going? For those of you who don't know who Grindhead Jim is, he has his own YouTube channel. You should go subscribe to him. And he is going to be in the Game Chaser movie. In fact, he has a bigger part than me. I just have like a little cameo in it. He's in it quite a bit. So everybody go check out Grindhead Jim, because he's got a pretty meaty part in the Game Chaser flick. You'll have to check that out. And I loved that video. Yeah, I ripped into you pretty good on that one. I had old Hellhound laughing pretty hard during that video. Yeah, Serial Mom was not a hit at the box office. It was like a cult movie. Meaty part. I'm the fat guy, so there you go. Yeah, well, I could have been the fat guy, but, I couldn't handle being out of work for the 3 weeks to be up there filming the thing. So it is what it is. Actually, though, I've seen some of the footage of some of the shots that you filmed. I don't think I could have handled falling to my knees and then falling over as many times as you did to get that shot. I think that would have done damage to me, because It seems like you get around a little bit better than I do. So, did you like The Office? Yeah, I love The Office. It was fun. Yeah. Seventh, is it normal for adults to be creeped out by kids? I've known some people that are weirded out by kids. I don't really know why. I've never had a problem around kids. Grew up around kids, because my older cousins were always having kids. And so there was always some, little towhead running around in a diaper. I just got used to it. Did you ever watch Broken Games? I watched a few of his videos back before the weapon wheel thing hit, and I've been on the weapon wheel once. I bet it hurt. That would have ruined my kneecaps if I'd done that, Jim. That would have ruined my kneecaps. They would have had to have carted me off set. The first time I did a drop to my knees like that, it would have been over for me. I would not have been able to do that shot. So it's just as well that that you were that you managed to audition and get that role, because if that's the role that Billy was talking about a meteor role that he had in mind for me that he had to give to somebody else, I wouldn't have been very good in it, because a lot of the stunt type stuff that they had you doing, like, falling on your knees and falling over and all that and having to film it over and over again, I wouldn't have been able to do it. My knees are too bad. Why does Solid Rev's electronics always break on him? Because he buys them all from Best Buy. Was Broken Games reliable on gaming news? I have no idea. I didn't watch him for gaming news. I don't really watch any YouTubers for gaming news. You know how I feel about news for views whoring. Anyway, Jim, thanks for the $3. I appreciate it. You get the dollar bill. You're the only person that's donated tonight. And this is my birthday month. Does ADHD lead to serial killers? I'd certainly hope not. After the first day of shooting, I was bruised all over my knees and shins from being in the back of that station wagon. I don't doubt it. Good God. My old man had a Chevy Impala station wagon for years, and I hated that thing with one exception. The back area, he had put like this really thick shag carpeting in it, and so I never rode in the back seat. I always rode in that back area so I could just stretch out and relax. And I'd have my toys back there, and I'd have books, and I'd be reading books and stuff. And it had little cubby holes that I could keep my toys in and everything. Of course, it was unsafe as hell because there was no seat belts back there. But, it was the 80s. What did we care? Totally, I have ADHD and I've killed Oh my. Anyway, we got 12 minutes and we are $47 away from the 10 o'clock, the $50 goal. So it's not looking like we're going to make it to 10 o'clock tonight, folks. My dad did the same thing with a Mazda pickup truck. It was like riding in a living room. Yeah. My dad at one point had a Scout, which you guys aren't going to remember Scouts, but they were kind of a precursor to the SUV. It was four-wheel drive, and he could drive that thing up and down the side of a mountain, man. I mean, that thing was, and in fact, we had a hill on the other side of the neighborhood that was a really steep drop, and he drove me down the side of that hill. And it was like driving down the side of a mountain, and I'm bouncing around like this, and he's just got this big crap-eating grin on his face. And we called that Cave Hill because down at the bottom of it there was a cave that you went down in that cave far enough, and there was almost like a natural water slide, and you'd slide down that and you'd end up in a pool of water. It was about 4 foot deep. Unsafe as hell, really hard to get out of there. But once you got in it, not easy. Again, 80s, no parental supervision. There's only one reason why I know it was there, because I was in it. Never gave any thought to, will we be able to get back up? We just crawled back up the top. because we were, 80s kids. Never thought of consequences of, hey, I might get hurt. Hey, I might not be able to make it up and I'll get reported as missing and I'll starve to death down here. Never thought about any of that. We just said, oh, look, a cave. Wonder what's in it. That was the 80s, man. Thoughts on... Okay, yeah. No thanks. I don't partake in such activities, sir. Do you still watch El Presidor? Not everything. I don't watch his videos about sports because I don't watch sports, so it means nothing to me. But some of his other stuff where he's just driving around trolling people, I watch those. I haven't talked to him in years. I've tweeted him a few times, and maybe once or twice he's replied. I almost feel like he doesn't really remember who I am at this point. 9 minutes left, everybody. 9 minutes left and $47 short. Look at that. I shall have $3 to spend for my birthday money this year. That's the consequence of being a single dad, man. And living in a state that's 1,200 miles away from your relatives. You don't get nothing for birthday or Christmas. Why doesn't El Presidor make rage vids anymore? I just don't think he cares to bother. He doesn't care enough to try. Doesn't care enough to try anymore. Coke or Pepsi? I prefer Pepsi. I like Coke, but I prefer Pepsi because it's a little bit sweeter. I really like cherry Pepsi too. I love cherry Pepsi. 7th, can you do a gangster impression? No, I cannot. I cannot do a gangster impression. Especially not like an Italian gangster impression, you know? Yeah. About the closest to that is going, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. Yeah, that's about as close as I can get to doing a gangster impression. Now, if you're talking about, like, modern Bloods and Crips and all that, no, I certainly can't do an impression of that. You come to me today, the day of my daughter's wedding. Yeah. I could do it better if I had some cotton to pack into my mouth. So you come to me today, my father's wedding. But if I do it that way, then I come too close to sounding like the priest from The Princess Bride. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage, that blessed arrangement. A dream within a dream. Have you the ring? Oh, shoot. I forgot about that movie for a minute. And love, true love, will follow you forever. Marriage. Oh, God. I love that long pause before he starts speaking, where everything is really quiet and reverent, and the camera just kind of zooms in on him a little bit, and he's standing there all pious, and then Maui. It gets me every time. Oh shit. That was one thing. You know, I could do that priest back when I was a teenager, and it would crack my mom up. That was like the funniest thing to my mom. She thought that me being able to do that character was just, you know, a laugh riot. And so anytime that she had was having like a crap day, I would just kind of sneak up behind her and get right in her ear, and I go, Maui. And the way you do that voice is you just trap air pockets in the sides of your mouth, so you sound like this when you talk. And so you talk like this, and then you just put it up a little high pitch and you go, Maui. Maui is what brings us together today. Oh, God. Anyway, we got 4 minutes left. 3 whole bucks. And people say, oh, you just stream to get people to donate. Yeah, that's why I sit here for 3 hours. Yeah, it's the donations. That's right. That's what it is. Up, $10 from Shadow Deist. It must have been my impression that earned that one. Thank you, Shadow Deist. That puts us up to $13. Thank you, sir. Oh, Lord. But my favorite impression, and I've done it before too, is the recording that they used to play while you were standing in line for Thunder Mountain Railroad at Disney World. Because I have it memorized. I was there so much that I memorized that recording. And it was like, howdy, folks. Please keep your hands and arms inside the train and remain seated at all times. Hold on to them personal belongings now, especially them hats and glasses, 'cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness. Of all the things that I could do a good impression of, it's something that none of you would likely remember because you're not old enough to have heard that recording. But it would play on a loop all day long on the Thunder Mountain Railroad. If you were standing in line, you heard that over and over and over again. And so, you know, I'd be standing there in line and I'd just be bugging the crap out of my parents because here I am, you know, I'm standing there and I'm going, howdy, folks, and it's playing. And so I would be synchronized with it, and I'd be, you know, repeating it at him, and my dad would be like, would you shut up? Even then, I was a troll. I need to do voices for video games, yeah. Like anybody's going to hire me. There ain't much call for people with my accent in you know, voice acting for video games, especially since you already got so many people like Nolan North and whatnot that can pull off a fairly decent Southern accent as it is. It's not as authentic as mine, of course, but yeah, 7th, it's clear you do not do this for the money. You ain't wrong. The biggest one-day donation that I ever hit was $473, and that was because 2 guys were trying to compete to out-donate. And they just kept going back and forth trying to outdo each other. And I just sat there in stunned silence trying to answer questions while I'm watching this bar go across like this. Freaked me out. Norland North was great in Deadpool. Red Dead Redemption, yeah. Oh, Lord. Those guys must have been rich. They were something. They were something. I don't know. I don't know, man. No problem, Ultra Steel. Glad to provide some level of entertainment. Possibly, maybe. All right, well, it's 9 o'clock. $13 donated, so we did not hit the $50 goal to extend to 10 o'clock. Well, I'm sorry about that, Shadow. I'm sorry. But I appreciate the $10, man. I appreciate it. That's $10 closer to a Series X or the foot pedal I want anyway. So we didn't make the donation goal tonight, so this is where I will be shutting things down. Remember, it's $50 to stay till 10, $75 to stay till 11, and anything 100 or more, I stay till midnight. None of that occurred tonight, so this is where we're going to cut things off. I appreciate everyone who donated, and I appreciate those who continue to come ask me questions. No, there was nothing on... there was nothing that I can see. Let me see. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody donated on Streamlabs, it looks like, a separate $10. It doesn't say who it was from. But it's separate from the Super Chat. And it's... Or that maybe that was Shadow Deist. Normally, I wouldn't get an email notification because that looked like that was a donation that came through Super Chat, and normally I wouldn't get an email about those. But yeah, I don't see anything from that's like a Streamlabs notification. So yeah, no Streamlabs. So I will see y'all later. Be thinking about all the questions you want to ask me. And we will do this again. Oh, Original Dogman. John Castro, Original Dogman. Oh, I'm sorry, kind sir. But you actually caught me as I was shutting the stream down, son. The stream runs from 6 to 9 unless I get $50 donated. And we didn't reach that much, as you can see up there. So you actually caught me on my way out. Yeah, it was fun back in the day, wasn't it? You'll have to come watch the stream next week. Again, I run from 6 p.m. Central to 9 p.m. Central unless I get 50 donated, and then I stay till 10. 75 I stay till 11. $100 I stay till midnight. So just come back and watch me next week, and we'll have a chat, all right? All right, so we're going to shut this down for the night. And again, think about all the questions you want to ask so you'll have them ready to go next Saturday. And I'll see everybody then. Same 7th time, same 7th channel.